the opportunity to get back into this round, but now a man down. Seb has to make this work alone. He's got the information. I think both those players probably heard the steps, but he has to take a gunfight here. He can't fight this in a 1v2 situation, and MTU, they've got aggressive, and Retina's found himself 4.
That's what we in the biz call the Retina diff, Birdie. That is the Retina diff. And listen, I say that this man, I watched him drop 49 kills in 1 overtime Dust 2 last season. I am indeed seeing what you were seeing.
This is not very common, but you know,
more MP5s than I think I've ever seen in Advanced ever.
Honestly, I approve.
Who is it? There's one player that goes for the MP5 in Advanced. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head.
If I was in Advanced, I would do it.
You also troll, though.
What? No, I don't troll our Apex games, but it's okay.
Wrong game. What are you talking about? Amor, he's come up to the door. He's like knocked, and then waited, and then just opened the door, and it was unlocked here at the B site. He's like, well, a free site. I'll have that.
Nobody's home.
Kennesaw looking about as free as Birdie Box's elo.
Absolutely. And honestly, if he has a situation like this is money he's going to approve of. And let's be honest, too. If you get 3 kills in MP5 in a situation like this, that's just going to encourage you to buy it again in the future. So we approve of this 100%. And now in the hands of Ludicity, I mean, Hunter, if he gets another kill here, maybe he's going to look to buy it in the next round. Who knows? Probably not, but there he goes. Double digits for MTU, MP5, one of them at least, out of commission, and Kennesaw State.
Honestly, Retina needed to pick up the MP5 there. Throw away that AK. Unnecessary.
That's what I'm saying.
MTU, though, able to take the pistol round off the back of some Retina diff, and it is a free B site that pushes them to 10. Double digits here. But now Kennesaw have their way with the buy. They are absolutely not going to be prepared for this incredibly fast move up towards A. Everyone taking those swings, and Ludicity had no chance in hell.
Kennesaw State had like the benefit of winning a lot of the opening duels over towards A for a while. They were gaining control of ramp, and they were able to have a lot of information, which allowed those B hits to be so inefficient from, I guess, Kennesaw in that last half. But I mean, let's be honest here. This is a rough situation if you're Kennesaw State, because you're locked out of the bomb site. Smoke's denying you line of sight as Lord of Highs grabs himself. A kill over the top of the smoke, and I mean, Kennesaw, look at the utility. There's almost no room to work with here.
There's nothing. I mean, they're not only down 2 players, but they have 1 smoke and 1 flash to try and mount a retake. I think this should be a save. That's my call. We'll see if Kennesaw... Oh my... Okay, Retina. Like I said, the Retina diff is a real thing. You asked the question. Retina has answers, and it's pre-fire as well. He took like so much damage from his team there. Still picks up the triple kill.
There's a small bit of trolling going on. I think if you're on the MTU roster and you're looking at Andre, for example, you're probably feeling pretty good with the situation you're in. I mean, you're not underperforming. It's just do you need to do anything?
Nope. Just hang out. Oh, I love that's this is what we call a spicy meatball here.
No.
Yes! There we go. $900 in the bank and an upgrade for an M4 gun wounds with the CZ. That's a little different. We haven't seen a whole lot of those as of late. Ludicity ultimately going to be the one to be left alive 1-on-3.
Diego will put him back into contention, though. The question is, will we be able to force one of these 1v1s and go out on top before that bomb starts to tick? The answer is, unfortunately for all of us, no.
Just no.
No.
Oh, man. Well, I'm having a good time, but you know what? Kennesaw, I don't think they're going to be having such a good time. They cannot figure out how to hold back this onslaught that are the Michigan Tech Huskies at the moment. It's going to be AWP out for Abner. Something, like I said, was interested to see that on, I think it was Nitsua who picked it up on the T side briefly. But Avner, definitely a little bit more common to see him with that weapon. The big green, I mean, it's very impactful on this map, but you really have to be able to be mobile with it.
You have to pick your fights too. You can't just kind of hold an angle and as you mentioned, you have to be mobile. When I say you have to pick your fights, I mean you have to set yourself up for them. You can't just go swinging, willy-nilly, because you could end up in situations where there's just someone holding you, as we do tend to see on T-side of Vertigos every once in a while.
Exactly. Seb, in his home over here at B, he might be finding a little bit of an entry over there, or well, it is going to be a ruse, or a bit of a lurk, I should say, for Amor, who is given a run for his money at the king of B. Zamora does just that. Rotation, at least one, moving in this direction. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous from Nitsua. How and why is he here? But oh my goodness. That is what we call a nasty angle.
Yeah, but these are nasty kills coming out from the MTU side, so despite the fact that Nitsua's going to be able to find this kill in the back lines, it will be the A-bombs like to fall on Kennesaw State in a 2v4 retake. Linson, we're getting into territory where they can't afford to save. They need to start bringing out rounds because, especially with the economy of MTU, you're not going to have room to punish.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the can't afford to save mindset.
That's fair, but you can't afford to lose this many openings. Like, eventually, you're just gonna have to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. But at the same time, where do you go for this here? I mean, it's
I guess these
so
are good
difficult.
kills.
At least keeping, well, the economy in check. I mean, MTU are very much still looking good, but
Okay.
yeah, nice exits.
I would call that successful for the side of Kennesaw.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
they've yet to be able to pick up a round here in the second half, and it's, I mean, I don't want to say it's off the back of, but it definitely feels like that crazy retina round on the pistol, and what was it, the follow-up as well, that retina had a quad kill.
We're just seeing crazy amount of kills coming in from the MTU side. I mean, what was it, Retina on 24 or Amor on 25? One of those two, both of them doubled up for, I mean, close to 50 kills at this point. Maybe we'll see this round change at MTU. They've gone for an aggressive play out towards ramp. Kennesaw State will opt out of the fight this time around because, honestly, I don't think they have the resources to fight for consistently. Ludicity's got an MP9, and that Molotov's missed.
Ooh, Nitsua at least able to bring something back, and there's Abner chiming in with the AWP, and a little bit of a whiff there from Challenge, but he is ultimately going to gather up that frag as well. Oh, no!
No!
That's the op down. The big green no longer there. And a 2 versus 3. It's going to have to be magic work from Seb and gun wounds.
Okay. This is one of the situations, though. You were talking about last round. I can see it. Saving to that situation, not possible. But now, 13-7.
Gotta go.
Bombs tick down. You both have kits. You have smokes to get yourself onto the bombs. Like, that is not a smoke I would be throwing, to be honest. Nothing to really be gained, but gun wounds dropped and the trades coming through. Barely Chow staying alive as Seb grabs himself a double, but it will still be MTU to come out on top. 14-7. Kennesaw State are lacking rounds.
Yeah, and I mean, a salient point you made about 50 kills between Retina and Amor, that is very difficult to overcome. That is the reality.
What do you do?
Like, they are playing a very good game. Just shooting back and shooting well. Even Seb in here 1v3 clutch there.
It's opening duels after opening duels, though. Sab, he's in a rough situation, not going to be able to come out on top there. A smoke to deny entry to the bomb site, but the rotations might just be too slow, but MTU, they've reconsidered. That smoke will actually... gun wounds on the flank, though, that's dangerous. And he's been punished for it.
Right now, reading gun wounds like a book there. And he is absolutely demolished after that. It's one of those confidence killers as well. Not that it might matter for this game, this map at the very least, because
what is happening?
MTU are on the cusp.
It's worked.
I don't know what's happening. MTU have just faked B to fake A to fake B, or go B.
Yeah, actually go B. It's worked. That's what's ridiculous about all this. Kennesaw, they've gambled all the resources back towards A just to realize that the target's been placed elsewhere. Smoke might have been missed there to provide an opening, but
nice.
More going aggressive, and he wants these kills, setting himself up for the double Ludicity. Covering an AK-47 now, setting us up for the 1v4. Grabbing a second. There's a player in the smoke to the left side of him, but that Molotov barely gonna burn him out. As Lord of Pies comes out on top. Now, MTU, they're on map point. I feel like we've only been here for a couple minutes.
Yeah, this has been blinding fast, and I think that the reason why is so many of those T rounds that the Huskies were able to pick up were just really, really quick A control rounds where they were able to pick up like 3 kills instantaneously, and Kennesaw State had to try and make something out of nothing. So, regardless, here we go. Last round, potentially, of this game. Unless Kennesaw State can stop the bleeding, they got a couple of MP9s, a couple of rifles. One of those rifles is, well, gone. Nitsua tried to get aggressive, tried to drop down ladder after finding mid open, and the Huskies read that.
Oh, dangerous. Gunwood's there, drops the nade. Lord of Pies swings back through and costs him his life. But there has been a common trend coming up from M2 here. Kennesaw have been quick to react, which is fine. But unfortunately, M2's been very... Flashbang can be huge. Missed timings. Gunwounds ends up going down to spray through the smoke from Ludicity. Trades back a kill and the bomb drop. That's huge. Vincent, maybe an opening.
Possibility. Could be reality. The wide swing. Hit him with the old Peruvian wide swing. And that one is very successful, especially with the MP9. Amor is feeling himself. The freshman coming in. He's nearly hit the other tap, but he adjusts in time for Ludicity. But Seb, who do you want in the 1v1? It is Seb. Seb able to clutch it out. Well done from the long-term Kennesaw State player.
Heart's absolutely racing after those last few moments. If you're, I'll be honest, if you're MTU, you're feeling that coming back. If you're the one spectating there, you're going, this is happening. We're going to map 2.
We're winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is everybody in comm saying, I've never seen you lose this.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
Absolutely.
I would put money on it.
I'm with you on that for sure. But Kennesaw State, they don't have an ideal gun situation here. I mean, with Seb winning out the 1v1 last moment there, this is not gonna set themselves up well for this round. And MTU, they're aware of this. Look at the utility. They've not used anything here because they want to be able to bleed Kennesaw State dry and then strangle them in the last few moments.
Yeah, and I think that is partially Retna, the in-game leader for this team, and the experience that he has coming to the forefront, knowing how bad the economy is looking. Seb's gonna, unfortunately, I mean, I'm gonna say waste that smoke there. It is gonna be a full waste, but definitely not what you wanted to be using that for with a minute on the clock.
And no Molotovs left. 2 smokes, a couple flashes left on the CT side. The retakes are gonna be difficult. There's more.
Just win on the site.
Yeah, just alone. You can see the rotations from A disappearing as the bomb starts to shift its way up. It's only Ludicity waiting. MTU look to make their play.
Lots of back and forth, throwing some bits of utility there. Nitsua seems to have an idea that Amor is playing close by. He probably heard the audio cue with flashbang. So good. Ludicity able to turn around, gets a dink, but nothing further. And Avner stuck in this corner up towards quad. Oh, nice shot! Hits him with a no-scope. Childs is wondering what happened, but Avner is only good for 1. He's gotten knocked down from his perch. And like you said, the retakes are going to be difficult. There's 2 kits, but a single flash.
Yeah, that opening duel, I mean, it was great for Avner, but the ability to stay alive there was going to set Kennesaw up for this retake, because now 1 flashbang to send the remaining counter-terrorists into this retake. We got Lucky Andre in the back lines. Taken up, but there's still 3 more players to go down. Another kill for the CT side, 2 more left to find. Nitsua finds a nice one with the AWP. Lord of Pies have to read this correctly, and he won't. Seb swinging wide, and just enough time for the bomb to come through. Kennesaw State hang on for a little while longer.
Yeah, by the way, that was close as well.
Yeah.
We got 0.4 of a second. That was the time left on that clock. Nice shots though from Nitsua on the AWP, doing some really solid work. As I said before, you don't necessarily see him on that very often, but he definitely showed himself to do well. Kennesaw State, it is a run back. Is this the
first eco we've seen from
It is. I mean, it's only the 2nd win of this half for Kennesaw, but it's going to be a 3rd here. The pistols are out. Andre at least gets a kill.
Okay.
Everyone else collects. It's Nitsua for a triple.
If you're Kennesaw State in the situation, you have the benefit of the doubt in that you're buying fully into every single round. You're leaving nothing up to chance. You've got, you can see Gun Wizard, MP9 buys up to them for it. There's no reason to save what you've got left. And so in that sense, MTU, they're going to have to win. More likely than not, a full gun round to regain control of, I mean, whatever round that would be, and then pull through with this map win. And I don't know, part of me wants to say that Kennesaw, they look a little bit more confident off the back of that Seb win.
They definitely look a little more confident. The question isn't about confidence, though. It's about composure. Whether or not they can actually convert some of that confidence into gun round victories. And they've done it thus far. They were able to pull back the eco round last time. But it's still 5 left to go. And now with that eco round, though, it gives Kennesaw so much more space because they have this utility that they can work around. They have late smokes, late mollies, and all of that such that can really put an issue into a T attack.
As the time starts to tank the bomb. Not actually going to be recovered. Instead, MT with 4 of their players will start to take control. Kennesaw State, you can see they're not really privy to fighting this. They want to have the rifles alive in the late round situation, but now with just 40 seconds left. Seb's wary of a push towards B because we've seen it in the past from Amor, but no. It's all resources reallocated over towards A, and Kennesaw need to be ready for this.
No time to turn tail and run. Gun wounds cannot do it. He gets a lot of damage done, and that might set Ludicity up, and it does, with the support of Lucky Andre, who hit the team kill there. It's a 2v2 is right now. Brought it back to Smalley. That might win him the round. The denial there for Seb. He's running for the hills. No reason to take these fights as Ludicity holds strong and holds passive. He's going to pop out at the right time, and Amor falls as well. The Huskies have dissipated, and Kennesaw State are on the way to a comeback.
But once again, it's a round win off the back of someone on Kennesaw State getting a multi-kill. Ludicity finding that double through the smoke was absolutely crucial to breaking that offensive, delaying the bomb plant, and allowing the time to tick down just long enough for the Molotov and the nade to come through and drop that bomb plant in the timely manner that it did. But I mean, I guess side note too, I saw this round started. Retina and Amor both have 29 kills. If we see 2 players dropping 30 bombs, I will be absolutely blown away.
Yeah, I mean, I was seeing that as well. Nearly 60 frags between the two of them. That's just outrageous. You never see that. I mean, especially, I mean, we're not even max rounds yet.
Right.
Like that might happen, right? Like at the very end of the game, but we still got potentially 4 more rounds, including this one. Of course, Kennesaw State poised to do well. Of course, that is dependent on these pistols. Oh, no more. Nice connection. It is only going to be 2 for 2, and I think that MTU can really be proud of that, considering the difference in the weaponry. Lots of utility, though, being put forward, and MTU see all of that util flying at them and decide that, well, maybe this isn't the site for us.
I have concerns. Even if Kennesaw State pull through with this round, if they lose even a couple more players, the investment into the next could be somewhat questionable. If this op is dropped and put out of commission, we might not see it being invested back into it, especially if like maybe Lucidity comes up short as well. And so, dangerous situations with 30 seconds left, and the recovered weaponry on this MTU side will start to make their play. Missed timing for Maverick towards the B-bomb side. Collateral to seal the deal. Kennesaw State up to a 12th, and
what'd you say?
Man, what a crazy shot.
If they lose a couple more players, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Abner, just two kills, 1 bullet.
Feel free to shut me up anytime, Abner.
Yeah. Honestly, I prefer to be shut up by collaterals, man. That is a nice moment. Somebody needs to clip it. Here we go. Looks like the pace change. Oh, but the mollies. This is where things change. Kennesaw have the utility to stop this aggressive maneuvering, and this is where MTU have been able to really find success on this T side at times. is they swap the pace. They put Kennesaw into a bit of a meat grinder, but instead it's MTU that are getting ground to a pulp by these bits of utility.
I think they're boosting. Oh, this could be it though. This is not something you expect in the later stages of the game. An early kill coming out. It's Swift. He can disappear here. No trade would be huge for the CT side. They've been lacking entries, and Gun Wounds finds a second. MTU, they're down.
The smoke.
And a crucial gun round at that. This was going to be one of their last investments before that crucial round number 30. And I was going to say, in the situation we were in, we saw 4 players from Kennesaw contesting, which would say that's where the room for a lurk on the Vertigo tends to shine bright. Oh, we don't talk about that.
No need. The conversation, it's all about this flash. Oh, but more. He's tagged by it. He didn't time it correctly. Gun Wounds swings around the corner. A double kill with him and Ludicity. And Gun Wounds with a quad quill. Magical. Kennesaw, they are making this comeback round by round. Oh my goodness.
I was going to say, too, I was a couple of moments away from mentioning how Kennesaw State weren't having success fighting towards that kind of short position. They were losing a lot of those entries off the back of the flashbang swings for NT, so the fact that Gun was able to come out on top there with a double, have the confidence to swing back for triple, that does wonders for that CT side, but we got another gun round. I mean, listen, MTU's, they're on that max loss bonus, they're looking for anything, but I feel like at this point they're grasping at straws. This feels forced.
Yeah, this side hall aggression going back to what was really a struggle, and ooh, that nade. That nade, not as chunky as I was sort of hoping, but still, pretty solid. And look at the utility. There's 2 flashes and 2
Just
smokes.
enough for
That's it. Exactly. You're going to get the smoke for left side, smoke for right side, and a couple of flashes to gain entry.
Spam exchange. Nitsu was going to be tagged down. But
Look at all those bullet holes.
I know. You think eventually the wall would just fall down, right?
Yeah. Here we go. Gun Wounds, 1 for 1. The swing there, but Nitsua on a bit of an off angle. That Molly should force out the additional player. He's going to hear him burning alive as Childs. And it's 2 versus 4. Kennesaw State pushing this Huskies roster to the limits, and Retna's no more. It's a more is absolutely defeated. And Kennesaw State, it is fully going the distance. The comeback is here.
Let me probe your brain for a second, Vincent.
All right.
Pre that Seb clutch, would you have thought that this was at all likely to happen? Round number 30 in a game where Retna and Amor are essentially acting like the rest of their team.
Yeah, it's crazy. You would never thought it. On Gun Wounds, he's been so consistent to get that 1 for 1, and the nade to follow it up is just so damaging to Childs.
There's a flank coming through as well. MT, they've been good at reading these in the past. The question is...
Oh, they are?
Positioning here is going to be everything from Nitsu when he finds that kill, so effective, but traded out 3v3. I would say MTU have the advantage here. There's almost no information now for the CT side.
Yeah, but there's a couple of smokes and flashbang. Seb still alive, and I mentioned that only because of the clutches that we've seen from him and what I know he's capable of in the clutch as well. Many of these times, Kennesaw State has relied on that.
In a situation like this, you can almost always gamble that mid control is it's usually not very likely, and if you do have someone paying attention towards middle, it's going to be one player, and the rotation is going to be really far behind. In fact, that's such a good angle. Oh, Abner hitting the shot, beautiful work from him, but it's not going to deny entry in towards the B bomb site. You still have Seb present towards elbow. He's been huge in the past. He's been the player to bring them back into this situation.
Let's go!
And he pushes them into overtime. Kennesaw State, what a comeback at OC.
Oh my goodness. Between Retna and Amor, they've dropped 61 frags, and it's not enough. How is this even possible? I mean, like, mathematically, it just doesn't feel reasonable.
We're playing Counter-Strike, Vincent.
Frags aren't everything. That's how you play this game.
Honestly, I'm wondering a situation like this, what either team is going to do to adjust. You've got MTU. That's an interesting nade set. Feeling over time for sure. As Nitsu was pushing towards mid, he's found himself doubles. Information on a third. Gunman's
off
is
angle.
lurking shortly behind to find that response, but Seb's found aggression towards B. Bomb, down. And all of a sudden, MTU, they're down once again.
It felt like Kennesaw, they weren't warmed up early into this map. Seb, he has started firing on all cylinders, and it's Retina versus 3, but who else? Who else would you want here but Hunter?
Oh,
He's been able to do a lot of damage there to Avner, but Avner still sticks around, and with the AWP, 2 health, it doesn't matter. 1 bullet is all it takes.
But I think they might have lost track of Retina's positioning. I mean, they knew where he was just a couple moments ago, but that swing...
No, they know.
They know, but look at all these 1v1 potentials coming up from Retina. He's closing in, but, I mean, that's just...
It's grimy.
That's dirty through the bottom of the balcony.
Yeah. That is not an angle that is particularly favorable, and it's not an angle that you can easily see when you're coming up over the top if you're not familiar. By the way, if you're unfamiliar with Counter-Strike and you're wondering, okay, who wins and when does that happen, we're looking for 19. That's the magic number here. 18, we do it all again. So, both teams get a chance at 3 rounds on the T side, 3 rounds on the CT side. With $12.50, I think, start money.
There's an interesting note here. Both teams on their CT sides did a really interesting job of kind of modulating their aggression towards this A side ramp. It's just kind of been a gamble of, oh, do we want to take control this round? Do we not? And we've seen some interesting clashes in the past. And look, he's looking for aggression through the smoke. He's found the kill. All of a sudden, a bomb site potentially opened up as the smokes start to land. But Avarice, he's looking for the aggression. He's found a flick disappearing behind it. MTU. How do they make do with this?
This man has gotten away with murder! Avner denying the plan. I'm not sure if that was worth it. It's a 2 versus 3 now. He's just pushed his W key and held it down a dink in towards Retina as well. And now Carnage unleashing on the A site. But the entourage, Nitsu and Seb, gonna tap down on that defuse, both sitting with a kit. HP favoring them, but just slightly. Oh, the flashbang! It allows for challenge to go down. Another tap.
Swing.
They're gonna have it. Nitsua, he's got the first. It's down to Amor. He's been so good, but Seb with another clutch! Kennesaw State, they've been able to pull it back, and 17 to 15. Oh my goodness!
How many rounds in a row is that? Have you been keeping track?
It was 7 to 14, I believe. Or 7 to 15. So,
a lot.
Yeah.
let's set the stage
at
real quick,
least
right?
9, I think.
Oh man, let's be real too. Seb doesn't need to drop the kills of Retina and Amor when he can pull out rounds like that and just keep Kennesaw State rolling with the momentum they've got. This utility too.
Look at this.
MCs, they've tried to go aggressive, but the utility just blocked them out of everything. But what that does mean though, with Kennesaw, is a lot less to work with later on. I think MTU might try to take advantage of that.
Well, I think they were trying to do that last round, but I mean, Avner,
huge.
The mad lad,
It misses.
Yeah, can't quite line it up. And well, that doesn't necessarily make the difference right now. It could be the difference maker in this gunfight.
Sidehall flash. Oh no! Gun wounds! He does it again! It's not the first time he's gotten those kills towards Sidehall, but this time again he delivers. He sets up Kennesaw State for an 80. That bomb is way behind enemy lines, but Retina's able to...
Who do you want?
Reconsolidate. You want these two players.
No more. These guys in a 2v4. Absolutely unstoppable this game. 33 for Morbid Abner through the smoke. That is just so frustrating. Amor is going down. Abner returned fire, but 18 to 15 as we swap the sides. I'm mind blown. How has this happened? Birdie, please explain.
I have 2 words, Vincent. I mean, you could argue 3. Would you like to guess what they are?
I don't want to guess. Just give them to me.
You're 3. No, I'm just kidding. The words I have are I'm shocked. I'm shocked because Kennesaw State seemed to have just pulled this out of nowhere. It didn't seem like they had the momentum, the confidence to make it work, but that round has to be talked about. Oh, Childsy's found impact.
I'm getting flashbacks. That's exactly what Childs was able to do on the CT side time and time again. He's just lacked some of the impact that we were seeing before. And MTU, I mean, it's right back to Old Faithful.
You know, Vincent, there's an old saying in Counter-Strike. It goes, if you kill all 5 players, you win the round. I think MTU, I think they took a break, and I think they read that paragraph again, you know?
They did. Yeah.
And I think they understand their job. But Seb's, once again, found himself in this clutch situation.
Honestly,
winnable.
I hate to be that guy, but Seb does win these sometimes. Not this time, though. The worst part is I've seen him win those. I really have.
Oh yeah.
So especially on B site. So a solid round though. MTU they finally won a round. It's taken a while. 34 kills for Retina. 34 kills for Amor.
They've been neck and neck the entire game.
68 frags. That is insane.
You usually don't see that many kills happening for like an entire team at least if the game ends before 30. This is just ridiculous. But I mean, listen, an opportunity, we'll say the least. Kennesaw State, they've had a small little bump in the road, but I don't think they're planning on stopping anytime soon. They're not really shy from this A bomb site just yet either. They imagine after the fading this utility, will want to try to find some form of control.
Look at these flashbangs.
There it is.
Really strong, but gun wounds. He's brought this. He's made it work. He's made the frags happen. Gun wounds and Avnarisk. 2 for gun wounds and Avnarisk in mid. He's applied the pressure. There's going to be a smoke here as well. So much to think about. And the B site is actually wide open. I say wide open. There's one player there, but the potentials to trade quickly are absolutely on point. We'll just be having to see. And Abner.
Oh, okay.
That was a pretty good angle, I thought, but
I'm surprised he got the kill. Maybe Abner just not ready to adjust to that sort of a gunfight, but that will reveal the positioning of the last 2 players. They know they found that AWP over towards A earlier on, but I'm more able to find more impact. He's been so good at finding multi-kills this entire game this time. Shut down. Seb brings it down to just red. Now AWP in hand. He's found so many great kills the entire game. He's been the player to push them over the line, but now he needs to prevent Kennesaw from being able to do it. And no, 19-16, Kennesaw State able to take their map pick and push it into map number 2.
19-16, it went the distance, the comeback of a lifetime, and the Seb clutch factor just so freaking strong, man. I am blown away. First map on stream here this season. If that's what we have to offer here for the very start, Birdie, I cannot wait for what we have to continue. We have so much more as well tonight. Oh my goodness. I'm loving it.
Absolutely. I don't think I've seen that many like close clutch, multi-kill, like just absolutely wild scenarios in a single like let alone map. Like I don't think I've seen that many in any series I've casted in ever.
Back and forth. I mean, that is exactly what we were seeing. 8-7 on the half, and it just allows then MTU to kind of start rolling on their T side. But unfortunately, for MTU at least, Kennesaw State after that Seb clutch, they just were able to make the comeback happen. And well, this wasn't the Seb clutch, but it was a Seb clutch. Mitzvah chiming in as well with a couple of kills is definitely a huge factor in this one as well.
The fact that Amor just couldn't quite connect that last bullet. Look at him, Seb, 8 HP, even through the side. Honestly, he got wallbanged by one of those last bullets. I think if that would have connected, like, just outside of that wall, that honestly might have been a round for, the T side.
Yeah, I mean, it really was close, but, well, I could wax lyrical about this one for a couple hours, to be honest, and we don't have that time. We're going to give the players a break. Going to give them a few moments after that very long map 1 to get prepped and ready for the second map, and, well, by the way, that map is going to be Overpass. That's Michigan Tech's pick, so don't believe for a second that Michigan Tech are out of this series. They have their chance on their own map pick coming up next. We'll see you in just a few minutes. 5 players at or above 30 kills in the last map, just about there. I mean, that is just unreasonable. We never see that sort of fragging, and, well, we certainly weren't at the beginning stages of map number 1, but Kennesaw State were able to bring it back on their own map pick. Overpass, though, that's what is coming up next. And Michigan Tech, well, they certainly showed Ashland the door on this map on their first game of the season. We're headed into this one. Birdie Box, talk to me, man. Tell me what you think the turning point was. What was the difference maker to allow Kennesaw State to come back?
I talked about it several times as the story was unfolding, but it had to be that Seb 1v1 clutch. The fact that he comes out on top there and it opens the door for that massive streak of rounds to push them into overtime, that might have been the moment that either pushed Kennesaw mentally over the line or broke MTU.
Whatever it was, they were not able to bring back anything from that point forward. I don't know what the actual score was, but it was 8 or 9. I think that's what Kennesaw had before they started making that run all the way back to 15-15. And I mean, it was only just that one round in overtime that Michigan Tech were able to bring. But I alluded to it before. I talked about it before. Ashland got dominated on this one, and that was, well, very much similar to what we saw last time. Retina with 34 kills on this map on the last time that Michigan Tech played it. So if we see the same thing, I can't say that Michigan Tech are guaranteed to win, because we saw that and more from Retina last time out, and it wasn't enough. But I definitely think that is the right direction.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about. I mean, the good news is, if you're MTU right now, is you were completely in that map. You know that you've got the players popping off in the server. You know that almost everybody's showing up. I mean, you only really need to talk about 2 of them in the context of last map, but with that information, you can head into Overpass, just say, like, listen, mentally reset, we're just playing for the next 2 maps, we'll do what we can. If we can keep playing the way we did heading into our map pick, we could surely force it into a third, and hey, listen, once we're in Dust 2, anything's on the cards.
Yeah, and I was watching back the series against Ashland, and, well, I found out that this is apparently the most played map for this Michigan Tech team. So it's not as if they're coming here with without experience, right? Like Vertigo, just to kind of compare and contrast, that's a map that they weren't necessarily banning, like Mirage, but it's a map that they were not a fan of, or so to speak. So whereas Overpass, they're very, very comfortable, are the Huskies. So I think that also might have something to do with it. But let me just say, I am a newly crowned member of the Amor fan club, because that performance was very impressive. And listen, not to just like Retina played very well, and that's great, but that's almost to be expected at this point because of how strong Retina is a player. I just haven't seen so much from Amor, and that really convinced me of what he has to offer. And as a freshman, no doubt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like the reason why he's a talking point is constantly delivering multi-kills in stressful situations, delivering impact when it's almost unexpected of, and you couldn't expect players to deliver in situations where he was just absolutely unloading on the opponents. And listen, like, if you're delivering performances like that in a freshman, as you mentioned, like, what can we expect from this man in the future? You know what I mean? There's so much more on the cards.
Exactly, and, well, this is a knife round. This is going to be a thrown knife round, I would imagine, considering this is MTU's pick. So Kennesaw State gets to elect to start on the CT side, and yeah, that's why, if you're curious why the heck MTU are knifing each other, that's the reason. It's because they are contractually obliged to give the
I'm
CT
not sure
start.
what you're talking about, Vincent. I think that was a real knife round.
Oh yeah. They just, well, they went full Lord of Flies.
Oh yeah. Besides the point, though, heading into this pistol round, the good news is there is a blank slate, right? You can just kind of reset your mentality, come into this knowing that you don't have to worry about any of the stressful situations that were presented to you in that last map. The problem is new stressful situations ready to be presented to you in this map, and I'm honestly surprised so far that we haven't seen any. Both sides playing a really quiet pistol round.
Yeah, really interesting. to see how passive Kennesaw are playing here. You typically, I feel like, especially in collegiate, see somebody go for that fast information play over towards Fountain, but that's not to be the case. And MTU, they've been walking this whole time. They're shuffling.
Shuffling and Kennesaw, listen, they don't have anybody spotting for this either. Not only do they not go for the information play towards Fountain, but they don't have the information play towards bathrooms. Avner's gone for one headshot, but Dink down, he'll have to retreat because the teammates are really far behind. A smoke towards Dumpster, going to be disrespected by Seb, but no luck from him. Instead, a push towards Bank for MTU, nets them another kill, and this is an unfortunate situation. Kennesaw State have to work into a bomb site they've lost.
Yeah, Kennesaw State, they get overwhelmed. The push in towards Dumpster and Bank is just too much to overcome. And Michigan Tech start things out strong. T-side pistol is absolutely a big deal on Overpass. It can be very tough to get yourself moving on the T-side of Overpass. And it also has the added bonus of really making that CT side even more tough, because you and I both know the CT economy, it's brittle. It's so difficult to get yourself in a good position, and well,
You don't even need to win rounds.
yeah, I mean, it's just nice.
I mean, I imagine too, that in a situation like this, kind of so. I mean, yeah, so setting these pistols down towards connector, you're looking for whatever you can find. Maybe this rifle. I mean, they've gambled that there's one here. They've downed it. Lord of Pi is out of the server, but that's opened up the B bomb site, and more MP5s on the board. Vincent, and it's got a kill. Nice.
I'm just really looking forward to when we see the Nitsua UMP.
Oh no.
It's coming. It will be here. Trust me.
I believe it.
I talked to him actually at LAN about it. I asked what his infatuation was. He's like, I like the UMP, man. And to be fair, I watched him 1v3 clutch on LAN with it. So I am now a Nitsua UMP believer.
I mean, listen, I'm more than happy to see, and it's a 1v3 on overpass of the UMP in a collegiate match. But I mean, listen, that's for later, because I mean, right now we've got Ludicity in a 1v4 situation with the Glow. I absolutely don't expect him to go for this.
No, he's just going for the save. Does more hit the smoke? Nope.
No. I feel like every time I see someone throw heaven smokes, there's a 50-50 chance that it hits, even if they throw it from the same position every single time.
I tell you, it's 100% chance that I miss it.
I don't think we ever played Overpass. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. But
What do you mean? We've absolutely played Overpass.
I don't remember. Let's be honest. Short-term memory is a big problem, and Ludicity. He's not gonna die to this bomb, so he'll be okay. Oh,
What?
never mind. What? He was that close? There's no way. Oh, he had no armor.
So far away.
He had no armor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, so I guess his memory of that Galil is gonna be long gone.
Short-term memory.
Short-term memory it is, but kind of saw say the reinvestment's going to come through, and honestly, I don't think he'll be complaining too much about losing that Galil. Honestly, I think that might have been just more about keeping out of the hands of that Mac 10, or maybe
Fair.
that MP5 in the hands of a more. But this is a bonus round for the T side, and so Kennesaw State got the slide edge coming into this, but it's not uncommon on a map like Overpass that we see the SMGs getting up close and coming out with the entries to work their way into a bomb site.
What's really good about this quote-unquote bonus round for MTU is that not only do they have 3 AKs, which is really solid, and a lot of utility, they also have quite a bit of money backing that up. So a loss here isn't even the worst-case scenario, because there wasn't that much damage done. Abner tried to get aggressive, gets punished. Childs is able to pull that one away.
What's dangerous about situations like these is usually you see CT signs reaggressing. A 4v5 on Overpass is extremely difficult to work your way back from, and so at some point CT sign's probably going to look for information, probably going to go for some aggression. And we see Nitsua over towards Connector right now. He might actually be hearing some steps over towards Connectors or towards Water, but that is really the only way to pull yourself back into a round, because it's so difficult to hold the bomb sites against these 5 players. But up to you, they're going to try to make this play out, and we've got a swing coming up towards Monster. Gun wounds up for their multi-kill, fully blind, finds Stu and a Molotov to deny the push up towards short. And again, Kennesaw State, they've put themselves into this 2v1. Lucky Andre. He's found one, but he needs to make it a third for this round win.
It's the newest player, his debut last week, and he's unable to even punch the numbers for the MTU victory. Kennesaw State denying that bomb plant is actually a lot more impactful, I think, than it would seem on the surface. Lord of Pies has got basically nothing, 1,400 when it comes to the loss bonus. And everybody else, though, working with quite a bit. 4 AKs and a plethora of utility for those AKs. Of course, gun wounds died early, has the MP9. Spotted is Itsua. Childs going to take advantage. That's the second time in a row that Childs has found the opening pick.
Second time in a row, it's been over towards A as well, and now with both these A players down, we'll start to see rotations shifting up, but, I mean, Kennesaw State, this is an uncomfortable situation, because the A bomb site, if your players don't feel like they can grab that kill off a spawn, or at least stay alive with whatever information they have, oh, I didn't even notice gun wounds ready in a position like this,
Whoa!
MP9 delivering for a second, that's unbelievable, that's wild, that is
He's
able to
just
switch
made
that
this winnable.
spray. He has. Ludicid, though, needs to find this kill because Child's got him locked down. Going for the aggressive angle, though, from Moss can actually be the weapon. So for in a situation like this, it's got the fire rate, but the bomb's shifting over towards B, and while Ludicid might be aware of it, he can't quite make the move, and, well, he does drop Child's. 8K recovered, the bomb will go down.
Seb and Ludicity. We've talked about the Seb clutch. Ludicity able to confirm that kill. They're both coming from the same angle. But, oh, that's a nasty angle.
Sneaky.
Very sneaky indeed. Ludicity upgrading, and he might be running away. No, he's going to commit. Flashbang out. Shots fired, and Lord of Pies, understandably and definitely the right decision, going to be holding back, just playing for this one, and more, despite not looking the right direction, still connects the shot. It's too bad Seb went down there to that nasty little angle around the smoke.
My next kind of question that will need to be resolved is how Kennesaw State are going to resolve that situation towards the A-bomb site. Because we've seen Kennesaw have success over towards. We saw that.
Stop pushing.
Yeah, but that could backfire, right? That's the problem. You really need to have that good middle ground, or you pull out the AWP where you can have that better chance at finding that opening tool.
Let me propose a solution, my friend. So the real issue for Kennesaw, yeah, kill them, shoot them in the head. That is the right way, by the way. Shoot them in the head. I go kill. But less Mimi. The real answer to that is that we've seen the solo aggression be the real issue for Kennesaw State. If they're going to be aggressive, which I agree, you need some amount of aggression in order to be effective on the CT side. You're just going to have to play with more than a single player aggressing. Yeah,
or you play the safer angles. I mean, we know, you and I personally, we know many players who are just extremely effective on overpasses, specifically at just being a menace towards A. Just taking dangerous gunfights and somehow coming on top, able to disappear without a possible trade, and that's really what Kennesaw need. In a situation like this, we saw them concede all of A on the pistol round. We've seen them get lose those early entries as well, and so if MTU start to feel comfortable taking that, you can be absolutely sure they're going to abuse that.
Well, I mean, we've seen that not just in games that you and I have talked about, but even in collegiate. I think Kojomo on Davenport is a great example with the AWP. He's usually able to grab a frag and just disappear. Or no, well, Ludicity, he's a magician. He's made Childs disappear straight off the server. And oh, there we go. Right now, at least able to get one. This is a little ham-fisted there from Amor. Not quite what you would have liked to see. The dualies are getting pressured and eventually gonna fall.
Honestly, I don't remember where Lord of Pies got that Tech 9 from. He's probably just kept that since the pistol round. Or actually, it would have been the force.
He's died 3 times. There's just no way.
It might have just been juggled around, but regardless, right? This is a really good start for T-side on overpass, because what you do in a situation like this is the CT side needs a little bit of time to settle. They need to figure out what's not working, adjust, and in that meantime, you can go proactive. You can start to find pace, find aggression elsewhere, start to probe in other angles, and if you never let that CT side settle as a result, it's really we can start to find the momentum, and that's where MTU can really start to make this lead go even further.
Well, we'll see if Kennesaw have found a way to settle the CT side just a little bit. And here's that middle ground we were talking about. Avner not being shy about the aggression, and Nits were the same, but they're not pushing through smokes. They're going to be able to find the first opening. Nice shot. Ow, so close. Nitsua didn't necessarily need to commit, but does anyway, and Lucky Andre probably feeling a little lucky to be living after that one gets dinked down by the A4.
That spray down looked so likely, honestly. I'm so upset, because, oh man, that would have been the play to bring Kennesaw back into this. They would have forced it into a 2v4, but instead now MTU contacts play out towards Monster. Gunwood is ready and waiting. We saw, oh no, the Molotov denies them control.
There's so much utility left here for MTU. And on the flip side, Kennesaw, they got nothing.
There's 40
It's just
seconds
a
left.
flash and a smoke.
We saw more on Vertigo BMS in the lurk position. You can see there's still 3 players ready and waiting. Here's the bombs shifted back over towards A, but some flashbangs.
He's keeping him here.
Yeah, that smoke's just, oh, he's definitely been spotted.
Yeah, that's going to confirm Kennesaw State. They're able to make the rotations, and with these smokes coming down, the mollies to follow, it's going to give Kennesaw the information, but are they going to be fast enough? Can they get in? Oh, no! Retina!
Except the smoke, too.
So winnable. Retina could deny. The bomb denied. The round is theirs, and Kennesaw State with a big win. It's off the back of that Seb frag against Amore on the lurk.
He's been such an effective lurk throughout this entire series so far. I mean, how many? Do we remember how many kills he closed the last map with exactly?
Amore?
Yes.
36. He was stop fragging.
That's wild for a player who's been like playing in a lot of lurking roles on the T side.
Well, he also was a stalwart defender of the B side.
This is true.
I love that little flash from Retina.
But once again, Kennesaw State losing that opening duel. You can see Avner's just got nothing to say about it. And Kennesaw State, the fact that they can't pull together subsequent rounds and they're not really pulling together the subsequent double saves that they need to pull out the AWP, they're never going to be able to take these safe opening duels. And the fact that they're not really forcing the utility out to pick themselves safe for gunfights over towards A. I mean, I talked about MTU. They recognize this. They're taking advantage of it, and they're making this play out towards A. Except this time, though, he's ready and waiting. Or sorry, Abner's ready and waiting. He's fought. Oh, that's a dirty kill through the smoke, setting himself up for the third M4A4 spray. Sorry, that's where the full 30 bullets can come in handy.
That's exactly right. Kennesaw State. It's looking a little bit difficult.
What?
Ooh, how? What noise did Seb make? How was he aware? Nice flashbang though from Abner's to get Ludicity into position. I'm sure Seb is doing a little bit of molding over there,
It's the
though.
gaming chair.
This carpet was feeling good.
He vacuumed beforehand. That's what it is.
Gotta remember to take out the vacuum cleaner.
Pre-match rituals. I vacuum.
Honestly, it probably is the gaming chair. Probably a Mavix.
Absolutely no disagreement there. I mean, once again, I mean, okay, Nitsua, UMP. Is this maybe this is the round for the 1v3?
Well, this is. Oh, I thought it was free. Nice adjustment there from Lord of Pies.
Quick
Couple of
response.
dinks. Yeah, P250. Very underrated pistol, by the way.
Oh no!
Hey, the UMP. I told you. I told you. I called it.
But he didn't get 3, so surely we'll see
he
it come
didn't.
later on. Like, the prophecy is yet to be fulfilled.
I mean, listen. The 1v3 that was special. That was on land.
Okay.
But the Nitsua UMP, it's a guarantee.
He's already dropped it, though, so...
Well, I mean, yeah, it was an eco round, though.
Listen, fun's over. The scoreline's tied up, Vincent, and we've got some Counter-Strike to be played. Now,
These
we're
are
playing that.
very serious gamers.
This is very serious, because we're back into the gun round, and we're in a situation where at the Kennesaw State, they're putting a player connector. Not really aggressing over towards A. This might be the first time we potentially see them coming in with the opening. I take
Well,
that.
okay. You had to say it, didn't you?
No,
That is fully Birdie Box's fault.
Yeah, add Birdie Box on Twitter. Make sure to call me out personally.
Yep. Definitely not just a missed shot from Abner, but regardless. I was going to say, actually, I was going to agree with you, though, Birdie, because that is where we've seen the most success on these opening duels from Kennesaw, has been when they elect to go aggressive towards Khan, but just doesn't work out this time. But still, we saw them bring it back in that last round. Of course, it took a massive showing from Abner to go over towards A long. We'll see if that can be the case from Nitsua this time.
He's going aggressive. Nitsua's going aggressive. I don't think it's a smoke over there towards bathrooms right now, but if he finds the right gunfight here, he could set himself up only just for a first up, but there's only one player left on the safe bomb site. Lurpie's looking to clear it, headshot. We'll seal the deal, and I think you I know, actually, no. I think you go for this. Look at the money. Seb's the only person that would be out of a gun heading to the next round. The loss bonus, I think, still might favor Kennesaw. And so you can justify the retaking the situation in the worst case, because look at the economy of MTU2, that you could break them here.
That was a nerdy nade right there. I'm a big fan. I think that's front bathroom.
They spent too much time going for this.
But that's still a solid. They're hoping
They've
and
got
praying.
no openings.
Yeah, hoping and praying that MTU gave them something for free, but nothing's free. Not in this world. The tap, the molly misses actually.
What? Oh, that looks. They both had kits. Honestly, if he was on that for long enough, that might have been a sub 1 second last minute clutch there. Kennesaw State had a chance. I'm surprised. That was even an open door.
Certainly looked to be, but Kennesaw State, well, the door has been closed and they've been booted on the way out. At least for the lead at the moment. MTU taking that back to 5-4, but a very back and forth momentum-based gameplay right now. And as you said, a smart investment. Seb actually been the one to get the full rifle, and I mean that's understandable. So much that this guy does for this team. Oh, but that flash. This is that solo endeavors that we keep talking about. And Childs is taking advantage for what feels like the 5th time.
And at this point, if you're one of those A players, that's gonna start getting to you. You know what I mean? Like every single one of these rounds, yeah, like it's gonna start wavering, and that confidence on a bomb site like A is really what you need to go for those opening duels. And if you can, oh, Seb, this is a good situation for me to line up blind, still able to connect with a couple of bullets, but needs to deal more damage, and he can't. That might just seal the deal. Kennesaw State as Ludicity tries to claw it back, forcing himself for more gunfights, but there's 3 people left to fight with, and his teammate's pretty far behind. What?
No. This is so close. AWP here for Avner. Finally, some space to reload, but the HP is a real problem. Oh, Ludicity, though, down very low. There's a kit for both of them, but a smoke as well. Avner could stick on this if he wanted to, and he is.
Ooh,
he's just going to stick
good
with
angle,
the
too.
Yeah, turning around. Ludicity even gets that frag. He's not going to get it. Kennesaw State with the ninja. Kennesaw, they tie it back up by 5.
That's disastrous. I mean, look, listen, round win. You take that. You're more than there it is. I was gonna say that if you're Kennesaw, yeah, you're happy that you won the round, but then you go into the next round and you wake up from your dream and realize that you've been robbed. No AWP to go into this round. The players who bought M4s have no utility to work with, despite the fact that you've just closed the scoreline. MTU have magnitudes better chances to pull this through.
Yeah, I mean, they are just lights out by better in every way. That said, we've talked about it at length at this point.
UMP.
The UMP. From Nitsuwa. And he's got one of the only kits as well, so we'll see how this goes. It's looking like they might give him a fight or two. As dangerous as that swing was right
actually,
there.
I like this aggression. The fact that they're pushing up towards long here.
I love that it's together. That it's together. No more solo craziness that we've been seeing. That has been so deadly.
Honestly, if Amor ends up getting
he should
crossed,
get one.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, safe kill. There's gonna be respawn, so you can see rotation up through connector. Player towards bathroom's already relocated as well, but in this push towards monster might have just been called off, because actually no, they're committing to this. 2 players up towards monster. They want this entry. He might be waiting for him with an MP9, but this flashbang actually forces a reposition. There's so much left on the card. Super Seb's got an off angle. The Ewenus delivers Retina, able to respond. AWP fires off, and the push up towards short. Lure to Pies catches gun wounds out of position.
Are they gonna know? I don't know that they know that Ludicity's still here. They've got 2 kills. It's going to be difficult to anticipate this, but he's giving it away. Oh, but that's on the UMP. He saved Ludicity's life, but he's traded Avarice down. The MP9 now coming alive, trying to upgrade. No upgrade to be having. Oh, there we go. The SMGs come alive.
Man, that goes. That's a textbooks round that right there. That just goes to show you how far information will take you in a game of Counter-Strike. Almost all of those gunfights were won because MTU ended up dying to angles they were not necessarily prepared to fight. You saw Seb with the off angle on the bomb site. Free kill, drops out of position. Of course, Gunwoods gets traded up towards short, but all the subsequent kills that come through are just the MP9s going aggressive, finding the right gaps in that T-side offensive, and it ends up finding Kennesaw round. And now look at the confidence. The CT side is beaming.
Pistol out. 6 health, 26. Couple of shots is all it takes. Some more is going to at least deny Nitsua the quad, but at this point, that's sort of besides the point. Here comes that MP9 to close it down, and yes, the confidence is absolutely there.
Sad we didn't get to see the UMP farm, but it's, you know, it's okay. There's still more rounds in this game.
There is. That could have been a big UMP farm round.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the body armor. That is the draw of the UMP. Very good armor pen for an SMG.
Well, it used to be, and then it just got nerfed into the ground, right?
I mean, yeah, it's still like better than other options, to be honest.
Right.
But it's just the fire rate of the MP9 makes it so good.
Yeah, but what I'm really looking at this round, though, isn't the UMPs, because there are none. I'm looking at the 2 AWPs in the server right now. Chances for them to duel, potentially, but a boost towards what? That's...
Oh, nice read!
Did he even nade out?
I don't know, but he was flashed. That's what I know. Retina threw that flash perfectly and allows the entry there for Mamor.
You know what stat I'd really like to see right now? Percentage of rounds that the Huskies win when they get the opening kill.
I think it's pretty low, actually.
Really?
There's been quite a few rounds that Kennesaw State have been able to bring back.
I feel like every time they've gotten the kill, like especially out towards A, or like, I mean, this kill towards B, honestly, this barrel's quick here. Staying alive could be everything too. Ludicity getting one could just be enough. The rotations are coming through, but it's going to be late. This pit player now.
You gotta cross onto the site.
What? That's an absolutely pixel perfect shot to hit. Got him on the fade back. The bomb recovered. A smoke to disguise the plant as well, but you can see Gunwound's trying to go for this. The plant was a fake. The AWP not going to find a connection, and so Lord of Pie is isolated towards this short position. 30 seconds left. He has to make the play here, and I don't imagine this is going to be it. Wait.
Oh no. Lord of Pie, he's counterfeited them. They're coming through the smoke. Nitsua down low. Pistol out. Oh, there we go. Whew. A little bit scary. Lord of Pie is good for a clutch here and there. Has been a very solid part of this MTU Huskies team, but not enough this time in the 1 versus 2 clutch. Kennesaw State, they've won the half officially, 8-5. This is solid.
A big sign of relief too, considering the way the half started. Honestly, like looking at a lot of these rounds, like it didn't necessarily seem like Kennesaw State had. There's not really a sense of dominance in the server right now. It feels like any of these rounds have been able to go either way, and Kennesaw State just have been coming out on top as of late, but this is such a good timing. Nitsua setting himself up for a multi-kill, but no, only finds one. Lucky Andre quick for the flick.
But that's back to what we've been saying before again and again. Nitsua, good to get a frag there. Don't get me wrong.
Wait, you're seeing this?
No. Ludicity. That is so unfortunate. Amor must have found the perfect timing with Seb coming through on the drop. Lord of Pie's not anticipating, but Seb drops down at the wrong time. Gunwound's on the trade. It's Kennesaw State to bring this even. 5 on 5 turns to 2 on 2 now. Gunwound's. He's playing a dangerous game. He's going to deny the planter dead and the bomb down, but it does not matter.
These are the exact same rounds that we saw in Vertigo, where Gunwound's just decides, rolls the dice and goes, I'm going to get a multi-kill and it's going to win my team the round.
True. Though he was very static in his positioning over in side hall back on Vert, here, he's been everywhere.
Give this man a bike. Let him roam the map. I want to see it. I think there is a bike on the map somewhere, right? Am I mistaken?
Somewhere. I'm not sure.
Oh, no, it's Inferno. Never mind. But he's got an aggressive angle here. Looking towards connector, but he definitely hears all these footsteps. He was in this position just a few rounds ago. This time around, no opening kill for him. Jouds takes him out fully blind, and Avner, with this AWP, has not taken the open duel.
A few rounds ago? You mean last round?
I've lost track of time.
That's where it was, yeah.
Remember my short-term memory?
I do recall. I apologize. That's on me. Should have remembered. But
absolutely.
Either way, Nitsua's aggression aside, that nade just falls a little bit short. Yeah,
a little bit early, but this utility is good. And MTU, they've locked out what's the third on the bomb side. The only this lurk just so impactful. You can see immediately the rotation's kind of folding back out. They're not really committing to this A play just yet. They have to deal with it. Seb does. But now this retake
HP.
is so difficult. Childs take advantage of the timing on that shot. Gunwood's able to trade, opens up the door to this retake, but they've got one smoke to do it. Sebs equalize the situation.
Yeah, this molly gonna be counterfeited by the smoke. Gunwounds is gonna throw it.
Oh
Okay.
no.
That's devastating. That could be the turning point. That could be the end of this round. Long it's clear. Now Gunwounds needs to clutch. He hits the first, but Retina is there. And Retina, that is a name that I think it's pretty criminal how we have not said that very often.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a lot of the other players. I mean, with the exception of map 1, right? It's been a lot of the other players to really pick up the pace, and it has to be said, Kennesaw State, you've got, I mean, Gunwounds, just like we saw in early Vertigo, just stepping up to the plate, delivering impact and round after round to push them over the line and heading into this next half. It's
Late Vertigo too, to be fair.
yes.
There we
this
go.
is an interesting.
No, this is standard. This is exactly how MTU ran it when I saw them play against
I'm speaking
Ashland.
for Kennesaw.
Oh, well, actually, this is very interesting. Retina has called this clear, but instead, it's going to be an A hit. This water, or excuse me, the information there in Sands is going to be called over eventually, but
Seb was on the
still
flank.
able to find the flank kill. Abner is able to find a more, and that's the two heavy hitters down and out here for the Huskies.
Yeah, but Mitsuda's got an off angle. He swung through for the kill. Gun was able to double up with some aggression
Stop,
and shouts
guys.
all alone. And are they going for the knife?
There was some shenanigans. I don't know what it was, but stop. Not like that. That's
okay.
That's how you lose 1v4s.
Do you remember we were talking at the end of map 1 how if you're MTU, you're coming into this with a clean slate of this is your map pick. I think that if you're the CT side now, you've just lost this second pistol. Concern is going to start to mount.
Yeah, I think it definitely is in the back of the mental, especially for a player like Retina, who's I mean he's literally only dropped 30 bombs in collegiate thus far. Not to be as dominant right now has got to be feeling bad.
And this is one of the teams that you would rely on him to be delivering and having performances like that too. And so on your map pick, it kind of blows, to be honest.
Hey, look at the UAP.
Oh boy,
It's already got a kill.
Oh.
Ooh, a little difficult there. Running into 3 players speaking at the same time.
To be fair, nobody hits that shot with the UMP. Not these days. Maybe 4 years
Maybe
ago.
back in the day. Oh, nice spray from Ludicity. He gets tagged down, dinked out, but hey, really solid. And the UMP is all that remains. Retina. 8 kill here. I mean, if Ludicity gives him this frag, that's massive. Like $600 is definitely a plus, especially against the CT economy.
Let's say he gets this kill with UMP. That's excellent cash just injected straight into his veins. It might actually convince them to, because I mean, they're probably gonna bind to this next round anyway. Oh, that's exactly the kill I was looking for.
Yeah.
Can they invest the op? Okay, he can glass cannon. Honestly, I could see it happening in a situation like this. I could see it.
Yeah, well, especially...
There it is.
Yeah. I was about to say, especially with Retina, the amount of pressure that... I mean, we're putting it on him here on the cast. He can't hear that, but I have no doubt that he's feeling or putting that same amount of pressure on himself here because of, I mean, exactly what we've been talking about. He is that go-to guy, and, you know, he's consistently been fragging.
Rush.
The brush coming out. What? No, there's just no way. That is illegal. Somebody call the police. That is not right. Amor is down. Ludicity with one of the most ridiculous kills we've seen all night.
Dude, I feel like a war crime was just committed.
Something. It was criminal. Whatever it was.
Okay. Talking about the freshman, right? We're just clarifying?
Ludicity? No. I'm
It
not
was
sure.
Ludicity? I thought
No.
we said it was Ludicity.
Amor is a freshman.
Amor is a freshman. Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Regardless, whatever stage of his collegiate career Ludicity is in, extend this man's career after that shot.
Give me more.
Give me more. Feed it.
Talking about injecting into the veins. I want more of that, please.
Yeah, feel free. We talked about last time. Just feel free to shut me up with plays like that. Oh yeah.
I want that.
Keep it going.
I'll keep it a buck, Birdie. Walking into this, you know, considering that Kennesaw State were definitely not looking good in that first series of this of collegiate against NEU. I was thinking that MTU had the advantage coming into this one, but right now there is a ball rolling, and it is quickly becoming a boulder straight down the hill.
Can't trade that too, and he's not even worried about it. I mean, it was tradable just because he decided to go for more. Seb able to work his way out. Oh, more with the deagle. He could be dangerous. He's got a teammate to back him up. Retina with the AWP. Okay, listen, these remaining two terrorists, they're doubled up, but rifles recovered, and Moore's gone aggressive on 16 HP. He's gonna have information shortly. This bomb's working up towards A. Oh no. Okay.
What? So close.
17 HP, and that's actually bait of the rotation. Oh no, an opportunity for the AWP to fire off. Instead, the bomb will go down without a response. 2v2 situation, and his first kill needs to go the way of the CT side. It doesn't. All down to Chance. He's got 17 HP and a deagle.
Yeah, but he's actually out into an area that, okay.
Wait, where did he?
He was at. Yeah, he got out to Optimus there, and that was what was dangerous. That's why I was a little bit scared. Nice eagle headshot there, but ultimately the shots are fired, and it's a very nice moment from Abnerus to clutch it out.
So, you remember the first half? We built a level of concern.
Short-term memory, sorry.
Oh yes, never mind. Jokes aside, though, we remember the first half how we were talking about Kennesaw State. We weren't really having success in those opening duels towards A, especially. I think MTU right now, they're really struggling to win out the important gunfights on the bomb sites, specifically. Especially those ones.
Guys, someone stop them! It's just not fair! They're tapping heads. Amor, though, they don't know. They have no clue. Amor's finally going to pull the trigger, maybe a little bit early.
It might just work. What? Excuse me?
Dude, Kennesaw State are just firing at all cylinders. There's no missing right now. No! Abnerus, give me more.
More looking to do it again. Finding the triple, and MTU claw themselves back from what seemed to be defeat. 13-7, Kennesaw State, look at their money too. They can't all afford to invest. This might just... Listen, if there was a moment on Vertigo, that Seb clutch, we might have just seen it here on Overpass.
Dude, how the hell is Amor allowed to stay alive for so long? He was the guy. He was on site the whole time. He got that kill on A, or excuse me, on B site, and they didn't kill him. He didn't know.
He's playing hide and seek, except he gets to hide again.
Yeah, he's just went back to barrels. What a find! That's a nice way to play around that smoke.
Look at the damage that's been done on the Kennesaw State. I mean, listen, this was an awkward buy. They forced themselves back into this, but having dealt this much damage is only going to make this situation that much more difficult, and lacking the entry as well. I mean, I imagine it'll just be a desperate play out towards B, trying to find whatever guns you can. I'm just gonna ignore that.
You'll do well. If anybody's curious, Kennesaw State are the Owls, so that is why they were hooting.
I can't believe this.
Owls versus Huskies. Who wins in that fight?
In a real fight? Husky,
yeah,
for sure. Is that a question?
But what if the Owl just nopes out of there?
Then has anybody won? All jokes aside, though, man. Listen, like this is around MTU. They'll be happy to come out on top of, and it's not quite out of it just yet. But I mean, 25 seconds left. The bomb stuck over towards Monster, has to cross, and Ren's position. 14-15. Man, not set to perform this game so far, but AWP back in his hand. He's now survived a round with the kill. Potentially, I mean, listen, Overpass. This map is defined by the opening duels the AWP can take. Go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I alluded to Kojo on Davenport and how he is a trendsetter on this map when it comes to collegiate, and it's because of his AWP play. Retina is exactly the same. There's no doubt that he could turn this tide on its head right now. That nade going to pop out door. A little late on the spam for Amor. It's going to be Retina with the off and close range with the MP5. A farm of one kind or another.
Every time I see MP5, they're just so satisfying. Like there's certain guns in Counter-Strike, like the sawed-off. Like I feel like the MP5 is one of those kills where it's like when you're just like fighting Seikos, yeah, like it feels like you're like playing like whack-a-mole. You know what I mean? Like you just like when you hit a perfect like a pinball machine when you just hit it like perfectly.
The sound design on the MP5 is brilliant.
It just feels so good, but. Back to the rifles. Chowd's actually opts to keep that MP5. I respect the decision considering the economy, but I'll have to disagree after respecting it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing this close, keeping that MP5 is dangerous, but, I mean, if you can make it work, it's like, it's a huge reward when it comes to the economy. And that's, of course, probably what he's thinking. The upside, massive. Well, the downside certainly can be deadly. We'll have to see, though.
This T-side is very spread out. You've got 5 players roaming the map currently, just kind of waiting for something to happen. But this gunfight towards long is really the one that I'm expecting to come through shortly. Avner, I think he's just jumping to the top of the flowers. He's got an MP5 on the other side of that, and there it is. MP5 coming out on top. You know, questioned the man's decision not to invest. He's just found himself a free AK. Well, not going for it though.
I mean, honestly though, I respect this decision. I think falling back, making sure, you know, allowing yourself to get the free kill and then confirm that, not fall down, it's huge. Ooh. Nicely done from Nitsua. That is the correct way to peek that, but the problem is nobody threw a flash for it.
These are off angles you don't clear.
I mean, this angle is just how does one clear that angle?
Especially like when you're walking in dry, like that's just not something you should be looking at. And I mean, yeah. Ludicity, listen, I respect what you've done this game, but this
not
is
this round.
This ain't it. You're not that guy.
Ludicity trying to prove you wrong, but unfortunately for him, that's not even close to the case. Gets 1 out of the 5 required to clutch up, and MTU confirm themselves double digits.
So, remember the Seb clutch? Defining round to push Kennesaw back into OT. Remember the defining clutch we had this game?
Yeah.
Starting to push MTU towards the OT.
I mean,
or the lead, potentially.
Arguably, more that. I mean, that was a far better play objectively, even. Not that we're comparing, you know.
No, we would never.
There's no reason to do such a thing, but if we were, that was nuts from Amor. Right now. Ooh, just a leg shot. Seb, very fast.
The chase is quick, though, and to be honest, they're going to want the AWP out of his hands. They know he hasn't fallen back, and so Childs will be looking to try to find the trade. He does, but he's being chased at all fronts, and as he finds 3, the AWP will be recovered in a 2v4 situation is what Kennesaw will have to work their way back from. Ludicity brought down to 26 off the back of that nade. But dude, I could see inroads here, but it all comes down to the opening play from this AWP.
Well, Nitsua, a man we've seen do some wonderful work with this AWP before. Remember, 2v4 clutch is what he was able to pull off on Vertigo with the op in hand. Of course.
What?
What? That is outrageous. How? How does he know? I am speechless. Brother.
You got
what do you mean? What do you mean? Nitsua, he's lurking up onto the site. Give a no-scope! Oh my goodness, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry for anybody whose ears just got rolled by me being so loud, but I don't know if I've ever been more surprised in a game of Counter-Strike in my life.
There's no way this just keeps happening. There's literally no way. Like, these are shots that you see once in every couple of months on Reddit from literally like a pool of thousands of players. Well, how are we seeing this in a single series of
My favorite part of this is that Childs just puts in chat, "I wasn't back dice, by the way," which he wasn't. he was tucked in the corner in bank. It went through 2 walls. It was just he was low. Exclamation point report to report a teammate. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do that.
I think we're beyond the point where tactics come into play in Counter-Strike. If we can just have 10 players in the server hitting shots like this, at this point, I'm more than happy to just call it a deathmatch.
Listen, this is why Counter-Strike is the greatest esport. There's just no question. It's things like this. This game going the distance. MTU have made their own little comeback here. This is week 2. Week 2, Birdie.
Why? Oh, God, yeah, you're right. we're barely into this, and I'm already having the time of my life. Oh, they've definitely spotted it.
Abner? Feel like you probably should have had that one, but great job from Lord of Pies to spot that out. I mean, it's a very common boost, sure, but
his teammate, I think, heard it or saw it at the jump from. I think that's what happened.
Definitely hard to spot out, though, even especially from that angle. So, props where it's due. Is this B hit gonna come? I feel like we've been teased for ages at this point.
Yeah, but at this point, the B
hit. Where's that nade?
I think, honestly, that's a great question. The top connector? I want to say.
That would make sense. But
yeah, it landed top connector.
30 seconds. Birdie, they have to push here.
Yeah, and that opening duel towards B. That's good. Listen, this is gonna force them towards A. And the problem is that I imagine.
Save. Let me save. Surely.
No, wait.
They have to. There's no questions.
Yeah, that's it. At the moment those players towards Divider decide, wait, what? This is definitely way too late. The players definitely just lost track, and wait, they've just walked into an empty bomb site. The bomb is being planted. How have you let this happen? MTU has lost track of the round, but they've got the openings. The trade needs to come through. They'll set up for the double, and all of a sudden MTU, they've lost track of this retake. Kennesaw are in this.
I mean, in fairness, we could see through walls and we thought they were saving. Somehow, some way, Ludicity and Seb have brought it back. The triple kill from Ludicity, and he has been so massive, so many rounds that Ludicity has been able to bring back from the brink. This is one of them, alongside that double spray down from Seb.
There isn't a single player in the server right now. I would say maybe outside of Lucky Andre, where I'm like, just doing things that are blowing my mind. I feel like. Yeah.
I'm feeling that that famous call. Please stop blowing my mind. That is me in a nutshell.
I've literally never seen a game of Counter-Strike. I've never played, watched. I've never known of a game of Counter-Strike like this, especially talking about the collegiate scene. And that's a nice opening duel for Avner. That's actually might just force Kennesaw to really take towards B. It'll force them to
look at the long
yeah, it's going to force them to find the information over towards long. And so, listen, the Huskies, they'll be ready. Oh, this timing.
Do they check it? Oh, they do. But Seb misses the shot. A rare missed shot from Seb.
That will force them to commit. There's no question asked. Kennesaw State are hitting this B bomb site. The question is the methodology and what kind of entry they're going to have to work in. Amor doesn't spot that jump, and so Lucky Andre might just be on the chopping block here. Ooh.
Ooh, it's close. Okay, everyone's playing with their cards face up. Like, there's no questions about where this hit's coming.
What is happening?
What? Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. What is happening? I feel like I'm in the last round.
This is obvious, though. There's no way they don't know this hit's going up towards A. Surely Retina's absolutely flying up towards this A bomb site, and it's going to come down to Childs.
Bird.
He's been the man to deliver on this A bomb site before, but he needs to delay. Now is his time to be able to keep this retake alive, because look at the utility for Kennesaw. If they get into this post play, they might not be able to come out on top. And MTU, they're not concerned about the post play. They want to end this right here, and now Ludicity's not in a good position for this, but 1v2. Both these last players have hit. The time is just so low, and he's going to run out of it for sure. Finding the first kill.
Oh!
You're not supposed to do that!
Ludicity! I said he delivers! He delivered last round! He's delivering this round! Oh my goodness! MTU! The poor Huskies can't catch a break.
Dude. What is happening? Those 3 words, I'm just gonna keep repeating those because I've completely lost track of tonight. Like, the events unfolding before us are absolutely wild.
This is only our first series. We have one more.
We have one more. Yeah.
Avner looking to put this down as a 2-0 for KSU. And as I mentioned before, I was in the MTU camp. Listen, I'm a Georgia boy. I love Kennesaw State, but I was feeling like they were coming into this as the underdogs. I have been absolutely shut up.
In a good way, I think.
And I like it.
I love what I'm seeing, and what sucks too is, listen, like, you're MTU, you've just forced back into this because obviously you're series
It's match
life
series
is on the
point.
line. Yeah, series point is on the line, but they're not that far from being able to pull this back. I
mean, like there's just so many clutch moments, so many
Yeah.
ridiculous situations. I mean, that 2v4, that round on the rotation, like how do those happen? They just shouldn't ever happen. And I think MTU, unfortunately, in a couple of those situations, like just get messed up by the fact that Kennesaw didn't even realize what was happening.
Look at Sebron. He's being a rat, and I love it.
Yeah, this is certified rat behavior.
Yeah, this has come down to the wire, and Seb, I mean, while he's been taken down, that's going to trigger the hits out towards the speed bomb site. The bomb included with this player towards water. Lucky Andre, the man who's been, I would say, quiet this entire game now, with an opportunity to keep his team in, immediately dropping a smoke down to drop the bomb.
Avner
Over to Pies is present and ready to go for the swing. Finds the first, looking for the bomb kill. He does it. MTU stay alive for one more. They push themselves to a 12th round.
Indeed. Lord Applies doing the hard yards, and here's what's crazy. I mean, we're talking like Kennesaw State, you know, this is sort of inevitable, but it's not.
No.
I mean, MTU are right on the cusp here, sending us to another overtime.
That bomb play, that helps so much.
It does, yeah. And also, Lord Applies, a man of true stature with the salt emoticon there. If you're not running a salt spray, you're not doing it right.
Some would say he's a cultured man in the Counter-Strike community.
Indeed.
But no, actually, I actually respect this decision to not go for the reinvestment. I mean, listen, Nitsu on the UMP. I mean, it's got to happen. There's no question about it. But there's a reason this has been done, right?
I'm giddy.
They're going to be able to buy in the next round, regardless. Okay.
It's not how the Deagle's supposed to work.
It doesn't do that for my M4, let alone my Deagle.
I've never been able to make it work that way. Abner, can you please teach me? I love a quick, you know. Oh, he's surely okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? So, Kennesaw State, I mean, listen, they're going to be buying next turn regardless. What this sets them up for is 2 gun rounds before the end of this game. The next one, and if they lose that, round number 30. And that's great, but MTU, listen, they only need to win 2 more gun rounds. And that's really where the confidence for them is going to start to come back, because that's potentially all you need.
That's true. That's a fair point. We'll have to see. The money's not perfect here for MTU, but and so I think that the reason that having 2 gun rounds in a row for KSU is so big is because of the fact that if they do any sorts of big damage here, the MTU economy might not be surviving. Right. So we'll have to see. That's all in the future. In the present, it's a 5 versus 5. We're seeing a pretty standard B-sided aggression here. KSU.
Ooh, he's got the dink. It's down.
It's a freebie.
You take those when you get them. But, I mean, no kill to follow it up. You're going to be, I mean, yeah, happy, but a little bit deflated. This gunfight, oh, man. Chow's coming out on top there. That could be huge. That could be round defining. Now, MTU looking to try to retake control towards water. The crossfires not able to deal with this, and so as the kills start to come through, able to fall back into the bomb site, but Kennesaw State, they're chasing. And with the bomb, I'm surprised Gunwoods goes for that.
Yeah, I can't believe that he's gotten away with this one here. Avner, he's got 1 in this round, and he's sort of lurking his way back up here towards A. Is that a rotation coming to A? Yes, it absolutely is. 1 player on the site. Oh, and Gunwoods, he's found him more! That lurk is just so powerful! Gunwoods with the bomb, too. Oh, and Moore pushed him. Okay, I was so mind-blown that a Moore would push out with the bomb there, but no. That was so close.
Don't do it.
Retina. Okay. Retina goes for a wacky play, a crazy play. It's not to be. Kennesaw State take the 2-0, but that does not tell the story of this game, this series, or what we saw from a fantastic Michigan Tech Huskies team.
Just about the only way you could possibly understand what just happened is if you rewatched every single round. We cannot possibly put into words the level of just absurdity we just witnessed throughout all 2 of these maps.
so back and forth, so many clutches. I mean, if I'm going back over the VOD, like trying to clip clutch rounds, I mean, it's like one here, one there. Yeah, it's crazy to name every time we saw something crazy happen. And I mean,
oh no,
I'm so glad we get to see this slow-mo. This
Dude.
is ridiculous.
Everything to set yourself up for that is perfect. It's not like he lined himself up on the wall for anything, too. He literally just decided, I'm gonna shoot through the box.
Yeah. This round was a big turning point as well. Ludicity and Seb chiming in for a full house of frags, 3 for Ludicity and 2 for Seb, and then the clutch that Ludicity was able to pull out here was, I mean, just Lucky Andres probably should have had this, but I mean, what a quick shot too. I don't even think that's really Lucky Andres' fault per se. He just gets swung on. Like,
unfortunately, I think the moment he doesn't swing in that situation, you put yourself in a situation where that's losable.
Yeah.
And so like, I can't blame the guy for not going for the swim. It's a dangerous one. But what he doesn't know is how difficult he made the situation after the fact, when he knows that both those players have been isolated, and it's difficult. It's a difficult story to tell, because honestly, both teams were just so good for the entirety of that series. But I mean, Kennesaw State will come out on top.
That they will. And well, honestly, if you had to pick an MVP, who do you think it is? Like, I'm not sure, genuinely.
I just gotta go for the wall bangs, man. Anyone who got a wall bang that game, which is probably all 10 players in the server, like any of those ridiculous ones, just go for it. They're all MVPs in my heart.
True, all MVPs in my heart, but unfortunately we only get to talk to one of them. We'll see. We got our interview ready to go. I don't know who we're gonna get to talk to, but it's gonna be my boy Avner. Avner, congratulations on the win, man. That was ridiculous.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
All right. Well, so I feel like we have to start with map number 1, the comeback. Talk me through where the turning point was. We on the desk, we thought that 1v1 clutch with Seb was the turning point mentally. Was that what you guys were seeing in the server?
For sure. Like that clutch, like I screamed so loud. It was like ballistic. I'm pretty sure I blew out 1-0 drums. But it was just like, that was just such a mood booster, and we started playing way more confident, and like we were able to like take our fights, and also they started getting like really one-dimensional. Like on their T side, they were throwing that left side smoke and not bringing anyone up ramp. And so like, I don't know if you saw it, but I was able to jump onto default box a lot and peek the side hall with op and not get traded from ramp. And I was just able to get that free pick. So I think that really stopped their T side.
What do you say that, because Vertical is a map that obviously you guys were struggling to find pace with until like the very end. Do you think that any of that, the confidence on your guys' part to be able to pull that back heading into overpass, do you guys think that some of the lingering effects of that might have been affecting them? Because I feel like it took them a little bit of time to kind of get up to speed. I would say it would take both parties a little time to get up to speed on overpass, and then eventually just you guys were able to pull it back. Clutch plays on both sides. What was really the thing that you guys found to push you over the line towards the end?
Towards the end, we just started playing, like, we were getting our individual picks so much, and we just weren't able to close out the round. That was the main thing on our T side. Like, we had like 3 rounds there after the 1v2 clutch from Lud. And we just, that final round, we were just able to find all the picks that we needed and just take it into the site 1v3 and forced Retina to get into a really uncomfortable situation.
Let's talk about Retina there. I'm glad you mentioned him because I'm a big fan of the guy, but he is a must-have player when it comes to this Huskies roster. You guys were able to make him feel so uncomfortable that he was not performing at his best. Was that something you came into this match thinking about? How can we put Retina on his back foot?
I mean, we knew for sure that Retina is like their best player, like considering like all the plays he made against us last season as well. So like we had him in the back of our mind for sure, but like we didn't really go into it with a game plan of like isolating him and forcing him into bad situations.
100%. Well, I do have to ask, so Gun Wounds, this is the first game I think that you've been able to play with him in Collegiate, is that correct?
For sure. That was the first time of me meeting the guy as well. So
okay, wow. So he looked pretty darn well bedded in. I mean, he seemed like he was, number one, carrying his weight very well, but the other is that he was working well with the team. Was there no issues at all with that?
Not really. We just kind of like, our system is very plug and play. So, and he was just able to hold, like on Vertigo, able to hold side haul so well, and just able to like take those fights and at least get a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2. So he was just able to just play really well individually.
I guess speaking of this too, and just not just kind of the multi kills coming out from a gun, was everyone in the server, just so many intense situations the entire game. We were absolutely freaking out for the entirety of that series, especially in Overpass. Were you guys feeling the absurdity as well?
Yeah, there were so many like really weird scenarios, like especially on Overpass, we had like 4 or 5 rounds where we won in the last 10 seconds, or getting the bomb plant in the last 10 seconds. And we were just able to play really good individually and get into those post-plant situations that they weren't able to crack into.
Well, congratulations, man. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and it's always a pleasure to get to talk to you guys from Kennesaw State. Final question. Do you have anyone that you want to shout out, say hello to before we let you go?
I want to shout out Nitwa, or Austin, who's the sexiest man alive and the best man on the UMP.
That he is. I knew it was coming, and we watched it. Ooh, we loved it. Well, Abner, thanks so much for taking the time for the interview, man. Congratulations on the win. Please communicate that with the rest of your team as well.
Thank you, thank you.
Alrighty. Well, I love talking to Abner. He's always a great interview. But we have more great Counter-Strike ready to go. It's going to be CSM going up against Ole Miss. When we come back, we'll see you in just a few. Well, I don't know how, but we're going to try to top that last game off with another Best of 3 series. Birdie Box had to change his shirt. That's how good that series was. We're headed into Colorado School of Mines, going up against the University of Mississippi. And I'm excited for this one. I think that, honestly, it's going to be interesting to kind of see if this Ole Miss team is able to run back some of the success that they had last season and continue it here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are two schools I'm not too familiar with in terms of their collegiate standings. And we took a look earlier, and there's not a lot of players I recognize in the server as well. And so I'm open to the idea of what I'm about to be presented with as we take a look at the rosters. On the side of CSM, Fail Crab. We'll go for eyes on that one, I feel like. Groovin, Gummy, PCR. Is that the PCR?
No, it's not. I was unable to confirm who exactly that is, but it is not the PTR.
Okay.
And if you don't know who the PTR is, there's pro player, or former pro player, I guess at this point. But yeah, on the University of Mississippi side of things for Ole Miss, it's Trix, the only returning player actually from last season, alongside Pronk, World, Tempest, and Cujo, which that's where I think the question marks start to come in, right? Trix is coming back through. But the rest of this Ole Miss team are not, or at least don't have experience that I can see playing together or playing on this this collegiate roster. So a lot to look forward to, and I think a lot to prove when it comes to this team.
Yeah, absolutely, a lot to prove for sure. Here, I'm gonna post some stuff real quick. Do you have an idea what they played? These teams played the last game?
Unfortunately, I don't. That's the unfortunate part. I wasn't able to find out,
Right.
and I don't know exactly what our V2s are. I think we're getting those relatively shortly. But either way, I think it's going to be exciting to see kind of how things play out, because like the CSM team, they were kind of trying to play spoiler last season to some teams, like for example University of Central Florida, who ended up making a crazy run towards their grand finals ultimately, and the same is true with regard to Ole Miss. Like, they were trying to play spoiler for actually some of the Texas teams, UT Austin I think being one of them, that the UN, well, your alum, Texas A&M.
Right, exactly, and I did actually manage to pull it up. For what I'm seeing here, September 9th, that was, exactly a week ago. Ole Miss played IVC Esports, Irvine Valley College, for those unaware, and ended up winning that, oh no, I've lost the page, hold on, 2-0 in maps that I don't think we have determined.
No, I mean, unfortunately, undetermined. But you know what I do have determined? I know what maps we are going to be playing for this series. And I'm loving what I'm seeing, and the reason I do is we're headed to Ancient, man. Ancient in the collegiate scene. I love it.
Oh, there's only one possible reason. Wait, is it first map, Ancient?
Yeah, first match.
I feel like
Ancient
this is
Inferno Dust 2. What a like, I feel like that is just unheard of. You rarely see these maps together.
So I used to do this with Texas A&M back in the days. When Vertigo came out, we would first pick Vertigo against teams that were like, no one plays Vertigo, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then we would pick Vertigo against them. I feel like this is exactly one of the situations. Teams do not play Ancient at a high level in these, like, I would say, like, if you're not in like higher leagues, right? And so getting to this point and picking Ancient, it's a show of confidence. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Advanced teams don't play Ancient either.
This is true. But I'm saying, like, if you first pick Ancient, it's because you're confident. You know exactly what you're getting into, and you're trying to force something out of the other team.
Well, I think you also can really set the momentum and create a situation that it'll be difficult to kind of come back from. Ancient can be very frustrating to play if you're not super familiar with it, especially because it really, I talked about momentum and how big of a deal that is on Vertigo. I don't feel like that's necessarily the case on Ancient, but if you don't know some of the basic bits of utility, like as just an example, mid utility, just so impactful. Being able to get out mid early in these rounds as a T side is really, really difficult. So, and if you don't know the key bits of utility, like the smoke for Red Room, or the molly for the right side, I don't know what the comm is for it, but the right hand side in towards mid in that little cubby. So, like, if you don't know those bits of utility, it can get very difficult to deal with.
It's not just that too. I would say it's one of the maps in the game too, where knowing your role and being really good at where you're placed on the CT side is absolutely crucial. Like the player in Cheetah, for example, if you don't know exactly when that smoke fades, exactly where the players are positioned on the other side of it, where to hit those spam shots, because we know how much wall bangs can be effective if you're in Cheetah. That's free opportunities that you're losing out on, which other teams will take advantage of on the other side.
Yeah, and I think what's really fun is that it's Colorado School of Mines, the quote-unquote underdog. And I say underdog, understanding that this is a team with really quite solid talent, at least, don't have a lot of experience in a team setting, but in a pug setting, I mean, they're like face at level 8, 9, even level 10 as well. Fail Crab is all the way up there. So that's something that not a ton of players are able to get to. Like I think if you were to look at it percentage-wise, that's like top 10% of players that make it up like past level 7 on Face It. So it's definitely something that they have some raw skill. It's just that we've yet to be able to see if they can translate that into the server and into practice. But we were talking about how Kennesaw State, at least in the green room, we were talking how they don't necessarily practice as a team all that much because they have because their individuals are just so strong and they practice with their own teams in other leagues. Well, a team like Colorado School of Mines, I feel like probably practice a little bit more, and that's why they can prep something like Ancient.
Let's assume they don't practice too. Like, you could totally just decide as a team day one, listen, let's just play Ancient, and we'll get enough officials on it that we could just catch people off guard regardless of any practice we might get, right? And actually, in the meantime, I've found Colorado School of Mines, they have actually played a match season. It also was a week ago. They beat out Triton Esports, University of Guam, also in I believe it was a 2-0 fashion. And so both teams 2-0ing their previous games, and that sets this one up very well, because for all the unknowns, they'll be finding out a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this is a real good game for both of these teams because of those unknowns, right? Like, we get to kind of see where everybody's at. It's so early on in the season. Like, with our prior series today, we sort of knew where both Kennesaw State and Michigan Tech stood as teams. I mean, hell, they were 3rd place and 7th to 8th in the last season of Maze. These teams, they're on the come up. They're on the cusp of being in that conversation for the playoffs, being part of that top 16. So this is now their chance to prove that they deserve to be here, especially in the premier side of Varsity.
And I'm wondering, too, going into a map like Ancient, the level of play that we're going to be seeing, because, I mean, these aren't players we're familiar with, and so I'm not expecting, like what we would see from a Limitless or a Davenport playing Ancient, you know what I mean? I expect to see things that are a little bit rough around benches. I expect to see timings missed on smokes. I expect to see pushes through them that are just going to be completely expected. Arguably, I think we're going to see a lot of what we saw in Overpass in terms of just like what is happening. Yeah, chaos. Just things that are just going to keep blowing my mind because they can. And to a certain degree, that's what's great about Ancient. As the newest map in the pool. It's been here for more than a year at this point. It's been a long time. But
I mean, listen, it's Counter-Strike. Things age differently in this game.
Yeah, they don't age until something changes.
That's right.
And so
we still call the nuke rework that came out in like 2017 new nuke.
See, I missed that catalog, but I'm the only person in the world who will ever say that. I'm pretty sure
you are the only one.
But Ancient's exciting for the reasons that, like, it takes so long to figure it out, because for so long there was just a lack of information. The util sets aren't as obvious as they are on maps like Vertigo. Smoke here, smoke there, walk into the bomb site. The protocols that you have to set up to just grab normal map control, they're different. You don't just throw nades and then go clear angles, because often the other team is there fighting with their own. I would say it's similar to Inferno. Towards Banana in that sense, where you're constantly expecting to be fighting somebody off of spawn.
Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison, because you're right. You're always fighting towards Jaguar. You're fighting towards mid. You're fighting even towards that B long area. Like you're absolutely having to be aware of the possibilities. That's part of the reason we see it be such a CT-sided map. But I think that the other side of that is, for teams that actually do have a lot of experience, I over the last season or two, I think that that Ancient is becoming just a little less CT-sided, and that's sort of to be expected. As you get those date sets, you get more understanding. You know, it's definitely going to be a little bit easier to take advantage of, but I'm excited because I want to see what Colorado School of Mines has to offer on their T side. That's where they get to start, because that is their map pick. And well, it's interesting that we're headed to Inferno for a map 2 as well, because like you were saying, the comparisons are pretty salient.
Yeah, Inferno's one of those maps too. I mean, listen, if you're in North America, you play Inferno. I say that every single time the map comes up. You cannot afford to let that map slip through your pool, because it's a map you will always have a chance at winning on, even if you don't want to be playing it. And so there's you should rather pick a map you don't want to play and get rid of it forever. Something like a Vertigo, Nuke, Ancient. Obviously we're seeing Ancient now, but and so that's really what's going to be exciting about Inferno, because obviously it being the second map, we're going to have to see that back and forth. We're going to have to see that action where just you never really know who's going to come out on top, and because these are you know, to reiterate players that we don't necessarily know too much about, this could go either way. We don't know who's necessarily going to come up with an op and just swing two people, grab a multi-kill, who's going to hide in the smoke and just find a spray through from CT. It could be anywhere from utter dominance to triple overtime in moments.
That's exactly right. And I mean, like we were talking about before, in our first game, it was absolute chaos, and that's part of the reason that we love to watch Collegiate. We love to see exactly who's able to come out on top, because we're not sure until the very last moments. It's just so much fun to be on that journey with you all. But I have been told that hopefully we are getting things prepped, and we're almost there. But thank you so much for your patience. Regardless, Birdie, Dust 2, our decider, should we need it. And I say should we need it because, like we've been talking about, we're not really sure, kind of, at least on the general skill level, where these two teams are at, where they match up, and how well they match up. So if we get to Dust 2, a classic Counter-Strike shootout.
Always. And always a map that can be really difficult to navigate, even if you know what you're doing. It can be unpredictable. You have to hit the right timing, similar to Mirage. If you don't peak the right angles at the right time, you could be caught between 3 different angles by 4 different players, and all of a sudden you're not only you're out of an entry, you're out of a round. Those timings towards long. If you don't get the right spawns, all of a sudden, not only have you been forced to waste a bunch of your time, a bunch of extra utility trying to get out, but there's a bunch of reasons that Dust 2 can just be an absolute nightmare. But that's third map. Listen, Vincent, we got 2 more at least to talk about, and the first one's got to be Ancient.
Yes, and we are here. Big shout out and thank you as well to Extra Life once again, and all of our amazing sponsors. Once again, Throne Knife Round to be expected. As well, I love that everybody's having a good time, enjoying themselves.
Yeah, and I'm honestly upset that it's over. Because now
30 rounds of knives only.
I do, I really do. But no, the reason I'm upset that it's over is because now one of these teams is going to have to be playing Ancient, and they're going to be losing on it, which honestly is one of the most frustrating things of all time. Ancient, when you're losing, you feel the most out of control you ever feel as a Counter-Strike player, and I like what I'm seeing.
It really is funny that Inferno comparison, because that's what it feels like on Inferno when you're just getting out defaulted. You just feel like, I can't go anywhere. I can't shoot anything. That's what it feels like on Ancient. Hopefully that is not going to be what we're seeing here. Hopefully it'll be back and forth. We will see. It's going to be a very fast B hit by the looks of it for the Colorado School of Mines. Got a flash over. Here comes the smoke.
They're not fighting yet. Oh, miss. Smoked out of the bombs. Yeah, this is dangerous. They're playing for the post lane here, which I respect, but these gunfights towards CT, they're not going the way of the CT side. Easy's found himself a double, and Tempest with the dual Berettas. He's caught off too. That was an unnecessary push from CSM.
Yeah, getting caught out there, and if you're going to push that, you have to check the close right side. You just have to. But it's a crossfire. It's crossfire set up. Missed shots. Missed shots! They're all missing! Oh, it's Kit. No Kit. But he's sticking? No, he's going to be off of that bomb. Tricks. Trying to play aggressively. He's getting pushed out. Oh, no, but there's no time.
And that's why you buy kits, ladies and gentlemen. Was there one at all? I don't recall seeing one.
I don't recall. I feel like there should have been with 2 buys, or with 2 Julie's, surely.
Regardless, that will be.
Because the Julie's are 400, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. And you start with
800.
800, right? So you could buy a kit, but there was also other utility involved, if I remember correctly. So, or maybe somebody bought 2 dualies.
Oh, that's true. Could be. Either way, it doesn't work out for Ole Miss, and Colorado School of Mines is instantly looking like the ancient pick. Well, starts out successful.
Push over towards this A bomb site. In my mind, this is still the B bomb site. There's if the vibe is a B bomb site, but it's okay. And honestly, CSM finding it empty here, it sucks because as an A site player on Ancient, this will be your frustration. Is the one time you're not there, or the one time you miss a timing, it'll be the exact moment that the entire team is running through.
And it is in that way. This does have a B-bomb site vibe, but either way. Nice little trade there. I is going down. It's a little better than I think what we might have been expecting. But Ole Miss looking for exits. That's really all they could hope for.
These are dangerous too. You got 3 players, 3 pistols on low HP here, but those are 3 pistols that can still pop shots off, and so dangerous situation for sure. Because these terrorists have to have the bomb site at some point.
I really wish that these MP9s or MP9s, MAC-10s, excuse me,
Hunted.
Yeah, I wish they had hunted a little bit more there. I think you should be willing to give that away, and well, Pedro Dos is going to give himself up for the free upgrade, but unfortunately the bomb makes that impossible to recover.
And we have been notified, Vincent, that these player names are not actually accurate. So to update everybody involved, T. Costas is Cujo, or at least I assume that's what they are known as on other platforms, but due to reasons, this is what they're seen as in the server. Tempest is obviously Tempest, though spelled slightly differently. Failcrab is Facepalm, that he's actually showing correctly in the server. And El Pedro Dos is PTR, or we'll just say Peter.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, they're not even closely related, like the names. So
I'm gonna do my best.
I will also try
I apologize to our Colorado School of Mines fans if I get some names wrong. We are trying.
CSM's also trying, and honestly, it's worked out. The second round in a row, they've worked their way towards this A bomb site, and this time around it wasn't quite empty, but they made it empty shortly afterwards. A little bit of utility goes for wonders on Ancient, but that spray was absolutely necessary from World to drop the bomb, and that is going to be costly. I mean, so we see ourselves in a 5v5 retake situation, and the first kill goes to the counter-terrorist.
Ooh, nice shot. Oh, he's bringing it back, but it's all on a groove, and well, he's going to have to be doing some schmoovin' and groovin' upgrade on the AK-1v3. A little bit of a shot there required from T. Costas, but ultimately it's going to be the victory for Ole Miss.
Cujo finding himself a triple with the A1S as well. Excellent job, and honestly, that's really what the A-bomb site is good for on this map. It's the reason you usually have one player soloing it with usually like a rotator, either from house or in towards donut. There's so little cover in the post-plant situation where if the T side doesn't aggress, usually you can use whatever utility you have left over to just kind of force your way back into the bomb site. So Ole Miss able to do that. Able to win out in the first gun, right? But CSM, listen, they've won those 2 rounds. They got the bomb plants down, and so they've got plenty to work with heading into this 4th round.
Plenty indeed. CSM looking to push their advantage, and well, okay. I was gonna say I'll come back to it, but actually, World has given up the initial aggression there. But well, aggression for Ole Miss. It continues. Pushing to Jaguar for just a moment, but that's also going to be at least a little bit delayed.
This is the spin that I was talking about earlier, where if you're in Cheetah just kind of hanging around, it could be really nice to just grab a couple bullets of free damage off. Not much of it's going to connect, but Pronk's going to swing back through for a little points of damage, and this is awkward for CSM. You're in an awkward situation where the other team knows exactly where you are. The question is just, are you going to be able to fight it out to the end?
Ooh, Tricks, nice. I mean, it's hard to call any angle here an off angle, considering how
They're all off angles.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. But nice return fire there, facepalm. Gonna get away, trading back things. That nade not as effective as I think Tricks was hoping for. But Ole Miss still 4-on-4. But CSM, they're gonna be headed back over towards mid, and ultimately potentially an A hit as the bomb moves that direction as well.
Back towards Donut. Tempest needs to get that kill, but no, instead, A-bomb site now up for grabs. Kujo's ready and waiting, but to be honest, this is a hard angle to fight. You don't have those two openings anymore towards Temple, and so the smoke's being tossed by Mr. Gummy. That might just isolate this entire situation.
Ruben, that's a great timing. Colorado School of Mines making the moves and creating the openings. Facepalm blinded he may have been, but fragging he certainly is. 1 versus 4 now here for World. And he should be able to get this first one. Yep, collecting Mr. Gummy with ease, but now things get a lot more difficult. You gotta make your way in towards, well, spawn actually, but Donut as well. And there's
The
a
fact that he's trapped here is so funny to me.
additional molly, just in case.
Absolutely no escape for the CT side, and Facepalm is going to be more than ready to take World out of the equations. The C side finds itself a third round. CT side had said who?
Yep, no CT side here. Well, at least not yet. Ole Miss, they took 1 round and they get instantly reset. I mean, that is very classic CT economy here in Counter-Strike, but man, does it hurt.
They're feeling the pain. I think they would love just a little bit of investment. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That ain't it.
That's not how you want to start off. Listen, if there's a round to knife your teammate, I guess this is the one, right?
That's fair. Like, if you're gonna do it. Oh!
Okay, Kujo, opening one up. That's gonna make things easier. I mean, listen, he's not gonna be able to maintain much control off the back of that, and the T side up towards mid is gonna be ready to capitalize off of that aggression, finding themselves. Let's see the kills.
Where are those bullets going?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean,
They're being eaten by the bullet monster up there.
this crossfire though, they're not. I'm not sure they'll be ready for Tempest here. They're not. Are they going? Oh yes, this is setting Tempest up for an excellent play. Dualies in hand, but this is not the gun to be dealing damage through head armor. And oh no! Yes, okay. He's got the kill, setting himself for a second.
Okay.
He's not ready to fight with that, and all of a sudden, I mean, doesn't have the bomb down, but a rifle recovered.
Yeah, I was about to say, getting the upgrade, getting across that area is the hard part, but he's done just that. Honestly, do you go for this? I think you probably do.
Absolutely. Listen, you don't necessarily win the round, but you've got an AK recovered in a round you weren't even like trying to necessarily win.
you had
and
like.
so, all
right.
right.
There was so much hope in our voices there, and then there was just disappointment.
Yeah, you have to go for situations like that. Not because it's better economically, but just because like you have to take that chance. You know what I mean? That's you got yourself that far. It's not that much further to push yourself over the line.
It's sort of. It's you miss every shot you don't take sort of mentality.
And not just that too, but the potential damage you could have dealt to the CSM's economy by just getting that maybe extra 1 kill even would have been 100% justified. Because if you look at it right now, if they lose this round, they might be out of it.
Oh yeah, depends on the bomb plan, of course. But here we are. Oh, this is unfortunate.
Classic ancient.
Yeah, that is an ancient situation there for sure.
Ancient trademark.
Yeah, ancient TM indeed. 4-1 and 5v4, and it's so clear to me why Colorado School of Mines have been willing to pick this map. That is one of those, oh, I just didn't know that. I didn't know you could do that kind of moments, you know.
Yeah, but unfortunately, my problem is if you're Ole Miss, those are not kills you could be losing. The first one I understand. You go for that pick, and it might work out, but the dry swing to look for information in a situation where you're already banked down and an offer is potentially waiting on the side, it's not ideal. And look how it's unfolded in front of them. Ole Miss, it's only Kujo left in a 1v4 situation, and I'm not sure if they're aware of his position, but regardless, I don't think he's going to be able to save.
Well, yeah, this is very difficult. How does Kujo get out of this one alive? Honestly, oh yeah,
He's not.
He is in the dead. That's That's what happened.
Make sure to follow @VincentCast on Twitter for more lyrical masterpiece like that one.
In the dead, yes. one could say he's sleeping with the ancients.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that one as much. I think In the
Yeah.
Dead it gets more across.
I'm here to please you and only you, Brady Bucks. CSM. They're certainly pleasing me with this look and that's what we
He's
call
3
an
for
easy
3
shot.
right now.
3 for 3 in that angle.
Just with the op shots, every time we've seen him take a shot, he's connected.
Opening duels, yeah. I mean, there's a reason they are impactful.
Not towards this ace side. Once again,
Is this-
CSM.
I think the third time this has been open.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Ole Miss though, how do you contest this? Okay, you have a deagle in the hands of Cujo. Like, yeah, you can try to go for 1-deags towards the lobby, but is it worth it? I mean, I feel like you have better pixel angles towards Temple. It's like it's not a bomb plant you're going to stop. So finding the better angles in the back lines could just be
Like
more beneficial.
those.
That's my justification. Exactly.
I love those angles. Dude,
Honestly, are those? Did he buy the dualies this round? I don't
He did.
understand.
he's a
Dualies are
dually
not-
connoisseur.
Yeah, that's the only justification I can find there. Dualies are usually not a weapon.
I mean, listen, they've been they've had an outsized impact in this game thus far, and that's the only reason I can see for continuing to purchase them up. So,
Okay.
in that case, fair enough. But you know what is not so fair? It is the scoreline, 6-1, and I've been talking about it. Like T side, if you know your stuff, it is really, really strong here, despite traditionally being a very CT-sided map.
Something I'm not sure if I mentioned before we got into this map though was Ancient, when you're not really playing at the highest level, tends to be one of those maps where it's like whatever side you're just kind of better on is the side that usually ends up coming out on top. And so another opening tool though for this T side. Ole Miss just haven't been successful with tricks. Going aggressive, that's a nice mid-round play to regain some of that, I would say, presence, but it's not going to stop the fact that CSM looks to be trying to go offensive. Grooven's gone for attention towards Houston. He's found himself a kill in the process.
Yeah, and I really love the attention to detail there from Colorado School of Mines. The reason I'm saying that is that flashbang, just to ensure the victory there. Grooven goes down to 9 HP, and without that flash, I don't think he wins that duel. So the small things, they make the big differences, and as we approach the 1-minute mark of this round, Birdie, it's looking like Ole Miss gonna have to try and fight back from yet another deficit.
And this is where CSM has been really successful. Just, oh, listen, we've applied some pressure. Let's just regroup. Regroup, walk into a bomb site. They know in a situation like this, like there's no way they're going to find all three of them. So you've got at least the gunfight advantage, the man advantage, and they've got utility to work their way in with as well. And so make the plays, play the hand you have, and hopefully they come out on top. And indeed, once again, they'll walk into an empty A bomb site.
This time, though, they could have
It's a
had the
bomb.
Yacht defending, and the Yacht will defend. There's Cujo to step up, the flashbang to try and recover this bomb. But yeah, that was a dangerous moment in time. There's a nade. If it's thrown in the right place, Groovy could go down, but that nade is on the back of Trix, and Trix is no longer alive. Well, it's 2v2.
Honestly, these aren't the best post-plant situations if you're CSM right now. You got players on all sides. It's lucky that Groovy is able to come out that kill and not get traded because Cujo's
Got an ace.
ready to hunt, and he's managed to get himself an ace, as you mentioned. This is, I'll be honest, it feels like, I mean, is this CSM's map pick? I don't quite recall.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's. I feel like we see now why.
That's the point I was making the pregame as well. Like, when you are willing to pick Ancient here, being on the T side at this level 2 in Collegiate, I think, is just, it's not a problem. It's really not. My favorite part of that, though, is Grooven jumping out of cover to grab the dualies.
I didn't catch that, but
Like, he's on for the ace, he goes for the dualies. Ugh.
maybe it's
It's
like
wonderful.
it's like it's like a service dog. You just need to have it with you. You know what I mean? Like it provides you that emotional support you need to get through.
That's I don't know if I want to go there. Trix, well, he's gonna need some emotional support after that, though.
I think they
He's
need to pause.
how many?
Because okay, listen, did we
5-0?
see a single pause in the last series?
Actually,
No.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did. Listen, at this point,
I think we might have on Vertigo.
I actually no. I genuinely don't remember. If there was one, we were too invested in the moment to realize. But this is currently a situation where I think if you're Ole Miss, like, listen, it's a Deagle round. You can either use this as a pause, but at some point after this round, you need to rediscuss. Like, think about what you're losing out on and try to focus your attention. Oh, this is a timing that might have been missed, but Pronk's fully blind is eliminated as well, and Groovin's just going on a hunt.
My man's was blind for a full 3 seconds there. That is tragic.
Stared straight into the LEDs of the car behind him.
Yep. That is the sun. What he was seeing right there. And on the hunt for Tempest. That's exactly what we see. It's Peter to close the round 8-1. But I fully agree with the point you were making there, Birdie, but let me actually go back to that round.
Okay.
CSM, did you see the execute that they had there on B? This is why I'm blown away by how good they look on this map. That execute, they had fire covering the entirety of the site.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
that's something I guess,
like that triple molly execute.
in characteristics that like are similar with that Inferno B bomb site. You can just cover it in flames if you want, and obviously you won't have any utility in the post plant, but like you'll have the bomb plant.
Yeah, exactly, every time. AWP, that's what's here to defend, and that's
gone.
not here anymore. Cujo down instantaneously, but there's still 2 players alive and kicking. They've gone for the fast rotate, the molly, trying to push out one. Tempest, though, in World, and through that molly, it's so hard to see! World with 3, and Tricks to chime for the final one. Ole Miss have brought back a victory.
And that's where the M4A1S is a must-have weapon on Ancient. There's always an angle that you can pick and just start spraying, and your opponent's just gonna have no idea how to fight back. There's, like, let's say, okay, you're in Cheetah. Start spraying through those smokes, spraying through the walls. They're not gonna know where that's coming from. If you're over towards mid, start spraying through the smokes. They're gonna know where it's coming from. If you're over towards A, listen, he's in Temple. There's flames in front of him. He's just shooting bullets left and right. He's finding kills, and T-Spy can't respond.
And if you're not a Counter-Strike aficionado, it's because there's no tracers on the M4A1S as opposed to the A4. So you're unable to track where those bullets are coming from. At least not nearly as easily. Well, easy. That's what I would describe that opening pick, though. Tricks going down instantly to PTR. So things looking good for CSM despite losing that round just a moment ago.
And despite this opening duel, CSM haven't actually gotten ahead of themselves. The smoke towards should be House, but after that opening kill towards Cheetah, they're very much aware that that control has not been obtained, and so Molotov to isolate as they proceed to work towards middle. They've got Easy lurking towards the A lobby. This is setting themselves up for an ace, but potentially the Pong's gone aggressive, and he's found himself a headshot. And more coming from Catwalk. World's been shut down, though, and that's going to open up the B bomb site. Surely the bomb starts flying its way through, and these rotations are extremely far away.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a giveaway, I think, from World. Re-aggressing there, just hoping to get the timing, find a confirmation kill, but ultimately gives away a little bit too much. But as I say that, CSM, they've taken a lot longer than they should have to get in here. It's going to be on to Mr. Gummy in order to try and find the entry. Of course, that's a little bit easier said than done, but oh, nice shot there from BCR. They're on the site. Everybody wants to be in the same spot at once. There's no molly, no nade to deny this area. Tempest has brought one down. He's on the flank, and okay, well, CSM, that got a little bit dicey. Birdie, I don't know if you know what happened, but I sure don't.
I think there's a little bit of trolling happening.
Trolling?
In a Counter-Strike game?
There's
Never.
No way.
Absolutely no. Double up T-side Ancient. What are your thoughts?
Okay,
This is fully serious.
One might call that trolling.
17-4, Grooven. Is he trolling?
Yeah, Grooven is not trolling.
He's not messing about.
Grooven is schmoovin. He is on a mission to give CSM this victory, man.
They want this first map, man, and to be honest, I guess Cujo wants the opening duel, and he's going to take it, but that gun's not going to be retrievable, and that might just be the reason Ole Miss might not find success in this round, because There's still a bomb behind this offensive and 3 more players to back it up, so Kusho's going to need more than one Deeg to stop this, but, I mean, CSM, they're taking their time. Oh.
So much time, in fact, that they've convinced Cujo to get a little more aggressive. Hey, maybe I can go get that gun. Instead, meet the AWP. The M4 is only good for 1, but they aren't expecting the additional donut player. Unfortunately for Pronk, he is dispatched easily. But Trix, he's trying to make the case that this is totally a doable round. No nades. To confirm, Mr. Gummy, who's on 2 HP. That's the real problem here for Colorado School of Mines.
The thing is, though, this is a doable round. You've got these terrorists split between angles, so 1v1s across the board, but World's not going to win out that one, so Trix, now, this is a crossfire. You are not expected to break, but he's managed to force the 1v1 into one of them, and Grooven's hit the headshot. 3 for him. The CSM put themselves onto double digits on the T side of Ancient. I mean, we're just going to keep talking about it. This is...
So Grooven going for 20 there, Birdie, do you think he's actually not peeking in that pre-fire? Come on.
Yeah,
he's peeking that every time.
I guess at this point I'm more surprised the CSM dropped the double up.
I mean, you know, it gets expensive.
It does.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a good point. I haven't really been paying attention to the economy because the scoreline's been so kind of out of touch. But it's honestly not that close. CSM aren't that far away from being broken. Yeah. But that's not the opening duel you want. It's a quick split over towards the safe fight. Kujo's gonna have to go up huge. He needs a multi-kill. First kill, ready to come through the trade, through the smoke. A couple of shots to dink him down, but 41 HP will have to be enough to make the deal. Flashbang from his teammates to set him up, and only one as the bomb is put down.
But he's done well. He set himself up potentially for success. The AWP for base bomb, but it's got help in the name of Eyes. 1, 2, and Grooven for the third. It's 11 on the board here for CSM. They are just unstoppable. Ancient, I was so impressed to see Ancient come out, and I had a feeling that this had to be because CSM were just so confident on it, and it is just so clear that Ole Miss were not ready for what CSM have to offer.
Part of me is waiting for Ole Miss to pull up the trap card and just realize that they're actually playing a game, and then just win the rest, like flawless. Like after last series, I'm expecting it.
You've activated my win all the rest of the rounds card.
Yeah. After all the ridiculous stuff, honestly, that would be less ridiculous than half the stuff we saw last series. But that's pretty ridiculous too. Difficult shots to hit and
Tricks, dull.
Oh!
Never mind. Do please go ahead. Do
Deliver.
more. I want to see. Tempest, he's done the same. 2 versus 3.
They're locked out
of course.
site though.
Yeah, that's the big issue. And look at all the utility left here for CSM. They have it all.
Flashbang. That's not going to be enough to seal the deal with anything. It'll just try to keep some terrorists in the bomb site so they can deal some damage. Tempest, that's going to be lucky to get away with that alive. Facepalm with an uncharacteristic miss this game, I'll say, out of the AWP and Trix. Not enough time to work with. We'll find his way out. AWP goes down. Recovered, but another player down, but heading into this last half, or last round of the half, they're not concerned.
Yeah, I was about to say, and who cares?
Yeah.
Not me. Not CSM.
Alright, so there's one thing I'm noticing here. Pronk, AWP in hand, 3 and 13. If there's a gun you need, and this is true for every Counter-Strike player, if you're feeling like you can't frag out, there's only one gun you put in your hands to resolve that situation, and it is the AWP.
Not the flashbang, for those obvious reasons. That's true. AWP, point-and-click adventure, as we all know. In fact, you know, they say that the first point-and-click adventure was made because of Counter-Strike.
Oh.
Back in 1999, yeah. The inventor saw the AWP and was like, oh, that could be fun.
Yeah. You know...
Don't fact-check that.
Yeah, I hate to make you feel like a boomer, Vincent, but I wasn't alive then, so...
Huh.
I couldn't tell you. I never played that first point-and-click game, but what I did play is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and I could tell you as a player of Counter-Strike Global Offensive that this round is an extremely slow one. Neither team has really been ready to make a move, and even this mid-control has been somewhat slower than CSM have been willing to make in the past, and so Ole Miss, I have a feeling that at some point in the near future they might start to get impatient. They might want some opening kills of their own if CSM don't force the gunfights themselves.
That's a good point. Cujo's been patient, though. Let's double up. Sort of have to be. And that is what we call a swing with no utility. The driest of swings. And, well, I guess
Also
in fairness,
the driest of swings.
you know, if your first dry swing doesn't succeed, go for another. Yeah, it's a work in progress. Either way, Ole Miss, a work in progress here to get a third round on the board. It's realistically, this is how the halves normally look. Only normally
Inverted.
it's the CTs.
Yeah. They're doing it again. Oh no! It's ridiculous to see stuff like this. I mean, facepalm going for the reswing there. That's because you're confident. You had easy on the flank as well, or eyes. Sorry, is that easy? Honestly, now I'm reading that could totally be easy, but. This retake's absolutely out of the question. World's found himself a kill, but the bomb's already taken a decent amount, sticking it. But yeah, it's not a good half. It's not a good look.
Eyes, by the way. That's the answer.
Yeah.
That I'm going with.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy to be corrected. Let me know, but
It's a possibility. I just misspoke.
yeah, we understand. It's easy.
Don't do this to me.
Well, don't do this to Ole Miss. I mean, come on, man. 13-2.
Well, listen,
On the
we
T
got
side.
dualies on the CT side. Okay, we've seen
He's
some.
grooving.
Honestly, if there's one player in the server right now, I would give dualies. It is the man named Grooven. But this is a quick rush out towards the A bomb site. Maybe pre-planned. Maybe just trying to get this map over with and work into the next because it's just not quite working out. Even in this pistol round, CSM coming out on top. Just 2 players left, and they haven't even got the bomb down. Ooh, a nice little tap. But it's all blue on the scoreboard with 4 players alive as CSM put themselves up to 14.
Yeah, Grooven only getting to take out one with those dualies, but it was actually PTR to do the heavy lifting. 14-2, and I mean, pretty genuine question. What do you do here? Do you save?
Nothing.
Do you buy? Like, I don't. There's like no right answer given the scoreline.
The problem is, you're not supposed to be put in the situation. Like, there is no answer here that's supposed to be the kind. Like, this isn't a math question that has a right answer. You know what I mean? You put yourself into the situation, and this is kind of the consequences you have to deal with. You're not supposed to have a right answer because you were supposed to have more rounds to work with. This is not the way that they wanted to set up their T side. I mean, listen, the bomb down in towards mid now in Glocks. They're going to try to bind to the next, but they're playing for the full comeback into OT.
And that is the hopium. Of course, I don't know that I'm huffing any of that.
It's hard to set this up for sure, especially considering how confident CSM appear to be playing. And honestly, if I can be frank, this confidence is the type of confidence that transfers between maps. I feel like it would be really difficult as Ole Miss to, I mean, making the assumption that this map will end within the next few rounds. This would be the type of map that's hard to brush off because it's not like you were losing close rounds. It's not like you were, your players even seemed out of the server to a certain degree.
A good point, a frustrating point if you're an Ole Miss fan, but a reality nonetheless. AKs though, here's the round.
CSM, they want the opening duels over towards it, and Joe's gonna get it. First kill traded by the MP9, but bomb down.
Smoke.
They're gonna have to recover that bomb. Attention's gonna have to be transferred. That might just give CSM a little bit more room to work with.
Yeah, but this smoke, I mean, it's such a threat. And it's not even, it's not verbal. It's just, hey, I'm here. Be aware.
You want to play?
It's like, that's a different game. Oh, they know.
That's a nice angle too, though. I mean, I feel like that's one, if you don't play Ancient too much, you're not going to clear that. But it's definitely one that players should be aware of. This is dangerous, especially with Grooven and MP9. But they recover that bomb. They don't want anything to do with that angle anymore.
I wouldn't either.
Over
Look at
towards
this.
B. This is ridiculous. What is the door smoked?
It must be, or they're just being silent. Either way, free kill.
That's an open bomb site.
Yeah. Eyes is going to take that one every day of the week. Excuse me, Eyes taken down. I'm blind. Tricks taking that one down. Oh, no. Tricks needed to find that kill. That was sort of a must-win. And Facepalm, how has he found another one? He needs to die. He needs to die now.
The problem is both these two remaining players on the T side are grouped up, and so you could quite easily isolate them, as there's still a smoke present on the CT side in the hands of Peter, and so Spray coming through, World connecting to their shot, but the defuse is coming through. And CSM, they've come out on top, a 16-2 map on Ancient to push us into the next, and honestly, I think almost everyone involved is just going to want to take it to that point.
Yeah, I mean, that is what we call dominant here in the biz. And I don't think there's a ton to say other than, wow, Colorado School of Mines, they picked Ancient, and they picked it well. I mean, they played the map to the greatest extent that you could. A map that is commonly, 11-4 half. Like 10-5, you're doing really well on the T side. They were able to win, I mean, just 13 rounds.
And this was one of the only rounds that Ole Miss won, all in the back of World with this A1S spray through the flames. And I mean, the problem is those aren't really rounds you can reproduce. It's really difficult to do stuff like that, and when you have to rely on heroic plays like that to win you rounds, it's just not going to happen, unfortunately.
No, it's not. But Ole Miss, listen, rough start. Let's be completely honest. If you're an Ole Miss fan in chat, I salute you. But it's not over yet. We have Inferno coming up, and that was Ole Miss's actual pick. Hopefully, they're going to be able to stall out the momentum that we have seen from Colorado in that first map. But we'll be seeing that in just a couple minutes. We'll see you back in a few minutes. Well, that was a map 1. That certainly was, but I gotta be honest, CSM, they are impressing me. I was hoping that I would see them sort of come in to themselves over the course of that game, and boy, did we see that happen. Ole Miss had no answers. But Inferno coming up next, Vincent alongside Birdie Box, and Birdie, I'm blown away.
Yeah, and if we want to get down to kind of the details a little bit, there's a couple of players on CSM that really impressed me. One of them was Facepalm, just going for those duels almost every single time he did, even like almost combat opping on the T side of Ancient, just finding all of those entries.
Well, and the other thing is, like, you could tell that University of Mississippi, like, they knew kind of what to be going for with regard to those early duels, right? They knew that they wanted to be getting some mid-control. They knew that they wanted to maybe aggress towards Jaguar or aggress towards Belong, but they just weren't quite aware of the timings, or they were just getting flashed off of it, or, in fairness, those shots were just great from Facepalm.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say that, like, you want to fight your way into the map when you're just winning all the crucial gunfights, but, I mean, listen, we're heading into Inferno, Vincent. This is the pick of Ole Miss, and so if there's a way to fight back into this game, it has to happen here in map number 2.
It does. And you know what? If we do see that, I'm excited for a Dust 2 Decider, because that would be a brilliant shootout.
That would be an event of all time.
It certainly would be one of the events of all time. That said, it's going to have to be a monumental performance from Ole Miss to make it to that point, because like you alluded to it a couple times, and I will mirror your thoughts here. That sort of performance that we just saw from CSM, it is not something that goes away in 5 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. It's not been very long. We are just walking straight into the second map, and it's so clear to me that, well, if this Ole Miss team hasn't been able to put that mentally behind them, they're going to be in a mental rut.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that I could see CSM struggling to bring out that same level of aggression, or being hesitant to be as aggressive as they were in Ancient. If they lose the pistol round, I think that's one of those ways. If Ole Miss pulls through with the pistol round and the first gun round, I think that'll temper any sort of confidence that CSM had. The conversation that you immediately have is, all right, guys, let's get some rounds out going. You know what I mean? Like, you want to make sure you're tempering yourselves, that you're being patient, and you're picking your right duels in a safe manner before we get into a lot of the trolling that was happening in the last map.
So I'm gonna troll you just a little bit as a former ECL level coach in the game of Counter-Strike. What are you telling your team here? Like, if let's just say you're suddenly the coach of Ole Miss.
Okay.
What have you said in the time in between these games?
So, if I'm hypothetically the coach of Ole Miss, there's only a couple of words I say in a situation like this. You have to come into this with more of a human
all got to be
aspect.
stream friendly, by the way.
Of course, yes. So, go frag is one of them, right? Because any analytics goes thrown out the window when you play a map like that. You can't be like, oh, like, we should have done this differently, or like, no, go kill.
You got
you got to go. All pressure's off. Do what you need to do. Just play some Counter-Strike. Go kill.
Get in their heads and fight back. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, it makes sense. Of course, it's all much simpler on paper, and in between those games, it's a lot more difficult when you get into the server and you get down to the nitty-gritty. That's what, hopefully, we're going to be seeing from these two sides. CSM, I was really impressed, not just with their ability to go kill, though. It was also their utility that really gave me a whole lot to think about. And the reason I say utility is, well, sure, it's sort of hit or miss whether or not you have highly impactful utility on Ancient, but it is absolutely critical on Inferno.
You cannot play Inferno without the right utility, and sure, while you might be able to win maps without great utility, having the better utility is what's going to push you over the line. Classic example is utility over towards mid. Picking fights towards mid with utility is not something a lot of teams do, but if you can do it correctly, Molotov out towards, the tunnels, flash towards alt mid, go for those early picks, smokes down towards mid, all these different things that you can set yourself up for, especially as, let's say, you're opping. It can be what pushes you over the line. If you're throwing smokes towards top car to go for swings, if you're using the right utility to obtain control of banana, force the terrorists out of the angles, force them to make presence elsewhere. It's the definition of Inferno, the utility aspect.
It's exactly right, and you know, especially towards Banana, right? Like,
Yes.
even more so on that CT side, and that's where CSM are going to get start, is the CT side of Inferno. So I think all of that sort of collates into this game 2 that we're just looking to get into, and that is how will this Ole Miss roster answer? How can they answer against the likes of Facepalm? Absolutely mind-blowing plays with the AWP. Grooven, who didn't seem to miss a single shot in that last map. And of course, everybody else who was just stepping up when necessary.
Absolutely, and just take an extra moment to thank our sponsor, Extra Life, for helping to make this match a reality, honestly. Put this broadcast on and allow us to have such a great time, Vincent, because we've had a great time tonight, and there's still another map of Counter-Strike to come.
At the very least, we might even have Dust 2 coming up just up here in a moment. But first, it's Inferno. Ole Miss, they are up against a wall of Colorado School of Mines. Dualies? Maybe one of them.
Honestly, the opening duel here, I feel like, is really going to be the pace changer. And with these pistols, I mean, okay, so Ice has gone for the opening attention, at least over towards apartments, and Ole Miss don't really. I think they've been stomped in their tracks. They're being patient, but unfortunately, this attention away from Banana might cost them. This flank could be quick, and it seems like it might be a wrap towards. Actually, no, our smoke. Just straight
Nice
pushing
flash.
towards the stay hit.
Very nice flash. Ice. Nice shot. He's going to be able to get away with one as well. Going for the shots. It's crossfire set up, but one of those sides of the crossfire denied is going to be a nice push. Cujo on the entry. It's down to 3. 4 HP, though, here for PTR, but he still hits the shot. Facepalm does the same. Massive moment. Facepalm for a second. 1 versus 2, and it's Cujo with 5 health, and he doesn't have it.
That push towards Arch has to be criticized. I could understand it if you grabbed a couple of players and tried to grab off some stragglers while they were on the rotate, but the fact that you weren't in proper post plant situations, you didn't necessarily have the man advantage as well. Going for that kill puts you. It put them in the man disadvantage situation, and I mean, I don't want to say it did this, but it almost handed CSM the pistol round on a platter.
So let me counterpoint there. All right.
Sure.
Because I think that's valid, but I also think that there's a world, because you have that flash, right? You were in a 4v4. If you get the kill off the back of that flash, it's not like it was just a dry swing. That you had the utility to set it up. Like, that kind of could give you the advantage coming into it. That could be the mindset. But you're absolutely right. It definitely did allow CSM to find that opening. But that's all done and dusted. We're into this round, and this round is a force buy round. Ole Miss, they want to keep up the pressure.
And pressure is what they'll have to apply. Because remember, the CSM's off the back of that last map, 16 to 3 or 2 it was, and they're not looking to stop. I don't imagine. The moment that they get money built up, you can expect the same sort of shenanigans we saw on Ancient. Opening duels happening over towards Banana. Cujo's been able to keep himself alive, and plenty of damage being done to the remaining counter-terrorists, and that might actually just provide an opening towards this B site.
Eyes has gathered quite a bit of info, and even a frag there, Pronk down. And he's one that I need to see do a little bit better in this game than we saw in the last. I mean, no offense whatsoever, but sometimes you just got to step up a little bit in the fragging department, and that's where we saw him struggle. But nonetheless, Ole Miss on the rotate.
But Ice heard the utility, and more importantly, he's going to reposition, and he's going to put himself towards a good angle in apartments to, I mean, handle this A-bomb site alone, because it's Ole Miss with the remaining 3 players starting this wrap, and it's actually going to be put over towards B. So Facepalm and CT is going to have to be the sole person to deal with, and he's setting himself up for somewhat of a spray down, finding the first bomb dropped. They're such low HP. Ole Miss, they're not too far away from this round, and that trade is a way back in. But time is the issue, and so is the presence that they've got.
Yeah, Eyes might be the tide turner. 19 seconds, there's 2 players, and they've chosen incorrectly. Ole Miss headed in towards the B site, where these 2 players are located. It's going to be difficult to clear them out. Oh, maybe not. Maybe no problem.
Peter.
First shot. Oh. Peter not even going to find a single one. It's Eyes now to clutch versus 2.
And while he hasn't quite been spotted yet, his lack of presence in CT will give some form of information over towards Ole Miss. They can count on him being the back lines of Banana, but 1v1s, oh, they've doubled up. A boost coming through. That is
Oh, that
ambitious, and
confirms.
it's cost them, yeah, information for Eyes. And all he has to do is take this last fight. No kit in hand, but the gunfight is going to be all that matters. World dink down, and only 1 HP left. Eyes going for the kill, and the USP will connect, and he's got the kit.
Oh, he's got the kit. He's
got
grabbed
it.
the kit. It's so close.
He's got it.
Oh
for
my
sure.
goodness.
CSM, a close clutch, but it still will be a round win for CSM as they come up in that second round.
Dude, that is great awareness there from Eyes to know exactly where that kit was at. He must have saw it coming in, or it's a call from the team. Regardless of the reasoning, that was so perfect. Pixel perfect for him to be able to pick that up in the clutch, of course, 1v2. I do think that ambitious is the right word for that boost.
What hurts my soul so much too is the decision to double up there is genius. If you have one player just taking a gunfight and then ends up dying, there is absolutely no way that Eyes in that situation re-clears New Box. It doesn't happen.
There's not time to re-clear the same angle twice. That's why it would have been such a good play if they just kept doubled up without actually committing to the boost.
But 2 sets of pauses here. Something we were lacking in that last map, but I think Olmus recognized that this is where their priorities should have been put in the first place.
I don't know if pauses would have done much of good. Not to say that they couldn't have been helpful, but
Right.
it seemed that I mean maybe that's just rewriting history, but I feel like at this point in CSM I would have felt as if that map was theirs no matter.
No, that's completely fair, and I'll be honest, Vincent. Just quick side note: I'm worried for that chicken's life in T-spawn right now.
Yeah, I did see. They were sizing him up. They were thinking dinner.
I mean, Olmus. I don't think they're the ones that should be worried about dinner right now. CSM, they're hungry, and they're definitely going hunting. That's all I'm saying. There's 3 MP9s on the board. The decision here for Ole Miss to reinvest or not, realistically, you shouldn't expect it. Maybe armor, a couple of pistols, but this would not be a gun round you want to be put together. Because, I mean, listen, the gamble would be, if you really wanted to justify it, play devil's advocate. CSM's economy isn't in the best of health.
No, I mean, it was just a 1v1 there.
Exactly.
Off the back of that forest spot. I mean, I guess in fairness, if to play devil's advocate for a moment, if you were thinking about the buy here, like, that's the reason. Like,
Yes.
you just were at the 1v1. Like, you're on the cusp of breaking the economy, but, you know, that's...
But
That's
the
copious.
point to follow up with, right, is what could you do with the Mac 10 you'd buy with instead of the Tech 90 that you probably buy? The answer is probably not much, and so
No.
gamble with those Tech 9s, maybe a couple nades, a bit of utility to force some 3v1s with the pistols, and then hope you deal enough damage to where if you won that next gun round, you would end up breaking that CT side economy.
A point to be made for sure, but no breakage here. It's going to be the exact pistol buy that you were talking about. Tech 9s, upgrades, and actually some armor as well. So a little bit more investment than I think you and I were anticipating. There's some head armor even for 4 out of 5 opponents.
They'll need a couple of kills for sure if they want to buy into this next round, because some of those players won't have full...
Look at this. There's no way. This is disgusting.
It's just disrespect. The only word that can be used to describe this, but it's actually cost them. It's cost them severely because regardless of how this round ends up for Ole Miss, they've got this bomb plant, and we will be seeing a gun round in the next round.
That's exactly right. Ole Miss, well, they choose to go for the B-rush at the right time, and it's going to be the CSM retake. The crossfire setup here. There's that first duel. PTR going to connect with Gronk. Nicely done. A couple of shots to connect. It is just 2, though, and ultimately, I think that's about what you would expect in the kill department from an investment like Ole Miss was putting forward.
It seems like I'm just reading the chat. We might have a tech pause coming up in just a moment, but I'll be honest, Vincent. Why have you done this? So, unironically, but still in a joking fashion, my Tech 9 does do that. So that's not like the Deagles we saw in the last series, where it's like my Deagle doesn't do that. No, my Tech 9 does just. That is what the Tech 9
does. Go burr. Yeah,
it does just go burr and find those 2
I can say with certainty that I have seen your Tech 9 do that.
And just with no explanation, just
Nope. No context needed.
yeah. But
That's the best. No context.
what's interesting too, I mean, listen, we're 3 rounds into this game, 3 rounds completed at least, and 2 of the players on CSM don't even have a kill yet, and they've won all of them.
No, but why you gotta do them like that? There was no need.
No, I'm not dissing the CSM players.
I know you're not,
I'm
but
stating,
they could have been unknown secret agents.
Are you saying they're spies? I'm confused.
Yeah, didn't you know?
I see.
We're playing Team Fortress 2.
Oh. I'm waiting for the sentries to be built. Unironically, Inferno in TF2, I think would be a great map.
There's like 2 people in chat right now that are like, dude, that was hilarious. Everybody else is like, what are these boomers talking about?
It's probably you and me, to be honest.
You know, that might be true.
But we're back into this one, and we got a full gun around the boards, and funnily enough, an AWP on both sides. Cujo's pulled it through, and listen, every time Inferno rolls around and we see an op on the T side, it has to be mentioned, it's not a traditional weapon. It's hard to find opening picks because the CT side ops can just disappear. Just like that, you take a shot, get out of enemy lines, and all of a sudden, you're down a man.
World, would you like a little bit of a nade?
Facepalm's on 1 HP.
Yeah, but he got the opening pick.
Worth
That's,
it?
yeah, very worthwhile. Are you a big fan of that smoke? Okay, hold on, I'll come back to that.
Actually, yes. I can explain why.
Oh, no.
That's Peter going down a slightly missed opportunity, but a kill I think Ole Miss will appreciate. And so the reason I do like that smoke actually is it gives you just enough room to swing that close angle on half wall and pre-fire it, but not enough vision for everybody else to be able to like do damage to you. Like their goal there wasn't to push down banana; it was to deny presence.
Just to get information, yeah.
Right.
And to deny the push.
Right. And they're up the kill, and honestly, even if it was a missmoked, do we necessarily care? Probably not. But just a little bit of a theory crafting there.
Yeah, no, just a little bit of fun for me and the boys.
Now this smoke, I don't like.
You are the boys in this case, by the way. Like you are all of them collectively.
Collectively, the boys. But Ole Miss, this is a tough situation.
Dude,
you got less than 20 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, the bomb is in a rough situation. I take it back. That smoke is great.
That's the results-oriented thinking that we need here at Nace.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, so remember all the way back in our pregame. Which feels like ages ago now. But
it does, because we've had so many pauses.
Yeah, it's just been a few. You said CSM, the win con for them to really, or actually you were talking about Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yes.
CSM, they've done it themselves. They won the pistol, won the first gun round.
And now the disrespect comes through.
Double up.
And Facepalm, who was so great at finding those opening tools in Ancient, just delivers once again. Ole Miss just absolutely not prepared for that. Ends up dropping Cujo, and ooh, a nice flick to connect for some damage. Unfortunately, no kill, but I mean, listen, you take those when you find it.
Well, Grooven certainly takes those as well. As if we needed another solid AWP player on the CSM side of things. Whoa! You what?
Back to the last series we go.
Suddenly the silliness begins. He's just that is one of those kills.
One of the kills of all time.
Mr. Gavi at the closer, and well, the momentum, the mental, and well, everything else gone for Ole Miss, I would imagine, after that.
Oh, if you're the person on the tail end of that shot, you that's at this point after the Ancient loss.
That's a keyboard slam.
No, that's you open console, you type the words "quit" out, and you're just about to press it. Like, that's me if I'm on the Ole Miss side right now.
Yeah, you start to type the words out, and then your teammate asks where you died.
And then you realize that you have a game to finish, and you slowly come back to reality. But Ole Miss, they've bought back into this, and this is a tilter. This is desperation. This is what I like to call a tilt call, because I mean, in the last round with this double op setup we're seeing from CSM, they're taking dry gunfights this T side, and it's just feeding this setup. Ooh, Kuja.
Nice shot.
A nice shot, but they're gonna need more than that to get back into this.
I mean, they're still down a player after that nice shot, unfortunately. And it's once again the AWP of facepalm.
And his teammate groovin' schmoovin'.
Of course. Look at how aggressive CSM are down banana right now.
I would argue this is more aggression than Ancient, but just because Inferno suits it more.
Yeah,
Slash bait.
exactly.
Oh no, they had the utility too, and still come out with the short end of that stick, and the bomb down too.
He timing them.
Yeah.
Timing strike. Global offensive.
Timing is 90% of the game, and
that's the bomb too.
Yeah, this is round over regardless, just because of that factor alone. CSM bring themselves up to 6. This double op setup's just gonna keep delivering. Ole Miss, unironically, this is the point where you pause, because before you were just losing gunfights. Now you have a tactical issue. How do you deal with the fact that you can't take fair gunfights against these ops?
This is where you start to struggle to breathe. There's that thought in the back of your head where it's like, where do I peek? How can I even take map control? You're absolutely right. It is physically uncomfortable when you're in this situation.
I would say a similar symptom occurs on Mirage when you see a double op setup, where just you don't, anywhere you can go there could be an AWP, so you have to use utility to take map control everywhere. But then you don't have utility to actually run up around, and so I mean, Pistol's here armored up as well. I mean, the loss bonus will permit it, but only a single return shot by a Tech 9 of Tempest and CSM.
Poor Eyes. Eyes died last round too. The only one to die.
I don't think he's.
I mean, yeah, winning is nice, but he got randomed. Or pre-fired, not random. It was very intentional.
I will say, I've definitely been in games like this where I'm just winning to a ridiculous degree, and I'm just tilted that I'm not participating.
We have a friend who I would say that applies to.
Is it all? Oh.
I'm not gonna
Not again. Not again! No, stop! Stop it! You're not allowed to do that.
Oh boy.
It's so demotivating to see that.
Yeah, you're just like... Though honestly, you're still standing there after like 14 spams through that wall. That's
it is somewhat deserved. Like, but the only emotion you can feel is
sadness.
Pain. Yeah, like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, obviously the pistols aren't. You aren't. You only have one option: dry swing. And against the AWP, you're just not expected to come out on top. The moment they didn't make it into the B bomb site off of spawn, the round was essentially over. But I mean, listen, CSM's up 7 rounds, right?
Well, and not only that, they've survived with 4 players the last 2 rounds in a row as well.
The money represents that.
It does, and that's what I was getting to. 10K plus on both Facepalm and Mr. Yummy, and about that much for Groovin as well. They could instantly reinvest this double op if they wanted to. But here's the round. This is where Ole Miss. I mean, I'm not counting them out yet. 7 rounds is absolutely doable to come back from.
Oh, and heading into their CT side too, we could totally see something completely different. If they had a double op setup, honestly, I think we could see a role reversal completely. But
yeah, we've seen it many times.
T side of Inferno just does happen to be like this. Unfortunately, it can be so hard to get into the map. But you only need a couple rounds on T side of Inferno to be like, oh, we have an opening, let's take it. Groovin though just found an opening, and well, he took it.
You could barely call that an opening. I mean,
oh, the door was open.
Well, okay, there we go. Tricks and World. Here, this is what we mean, right? You take just a small amount of space and positioning, and suddenly
technically they have the bomb site.
Yeah, exactly. This could come back. That Moto smoke came through at the right time, and now CSM, they're gonna have to make the comeback here. Eyes
must win.
Very aggressive, and Tricks is gonna be set to the 1v3. He's not gonna expect this additional player via lane, I don't believe. And Facepalm on the AWP in that position. It's going to be difficult to navigate. Here we go.
He needs to force a 1v1. He doesn't have time or the utility or really the positioning to try to like win out this 2v1. He needs to force one of these gunfights first, and well, Peter's going to take it, and he's just going to come out on top. So, unfortunate situation. But I feel like that's discomfort in the clutch. That's going to cost him in that situation.
I'm not even going to go that far. I just think, 1v3, how many times you winning that? Like, very rarely.
Fair.
Like,
I'll settle.
You'll concede. Understood. You know who isn't conceding? CSM. Not a darn thing. They are 8-0 at the moment.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Kronk. This is,
Please.
Kronk, you could be winning this game.
No! No! I heard it, but I didn't see it. That was literally like a movie.
Our eyes.
That was a movie of someone just like, that was...
It was.
Right before the event, just pan away. You hear the noise.
The sad death of our chicken friend. Look at this angle. That angle is so aggressive.
That's
he
so
didn't even
dirty.
move. He didn't even move. Facepalm stood inside middle and just rescoped.
What's funny is that's not even a good angle.
No.
You only take that because you're confident. If you miss that shot, you die immediately.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, sometimes you just get punished because somebody hits a really nice shot too.
I mean, and Facepalm's been hitting really nice shots.
True story. We'll see if Ole Miss's story can continue or whether or not the pain will continue.
Spain without the S. And so, okay, I don't hate the situation they're in right now. That smoke towards Arch will deny some information, but more importantly, it's going to keep a couple players here towards A bomb. So this hit towards B, contact or otherwise, it's an open door. But they have to kind of get ahead of the situation. I mean, Facepalm does end up rotating through the AVP, but if that CT smoke comes through, that it might not be as useful.
30 seconds and that smoke comes out. That's brutal. If they were going towards mid, that would no longer be the case. Fortunately, Ole Miss are set up for the B hit. All three players here. And the flash is so perfect. Oh, there we go. Kronk, what is this? Facepalm. I mean, you just don't do that. It's going to be Peter stepping up and stepping out. One more to find, and the 1v3, it's Tempest's turn. Okay, Ice.
Oh.
Okay, alright. CSM trying to give that one away, but ultimately the shot is hit by Mr. Gummy.
And I guess that's really the factor too. It's like yes, that is just kind of complacency trying to get this game over with. That is opening the door for Ole Miss to pull through the round, but it's still not happening. And that's really the concern that's coming through. Look, everybody on 4 kills for the side of Ole Miss except for Trix, and it's like when no one's showing pace, when the entire team is down like this, there isn't an open door to walk through.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate reality. And listen, anybody feeling like we're being harsh to Ole Miss, it's not intentional. It's just a reality where they're down 9-0 in this map, and they're down already a map in this series. And Colorado School of Mines, it's just a testament to how much prep they clearly put into their ancient, and of course the impressive way that they're showing off on Inferno.
Missed timing for Facepalm, an excellent flashbang to force him off the angle will actually give Pronk the opening. That's a level of utility we haven't necessarily seen out of Ole Miss. Unfortunately, it's going to be traded out. Mr. Gummy with a double, and this A bomb site still on lock. Minute left to work with, Vincent. Is this possible but unlikely?
Possible but unlikely. I feel like that could be the subtitle for this game, for this series, for Ole Miss.
Just a big caption.
CSM versus Ole Miss. Possible but unlikely. World, he's making the unlikely seem a little more likely here, but he's got to step forward into the AWP's crosshairs, into the throes of Facepalm. 30 seconds do remain. The bomb collected. The peak is there, but Facepalm, is there a shot he can't hit?
Not really. I think if we add, I mean, at least all the shots that we've seen on the observer feed, if we add up all of the shots that he's hit versus all the shots that he's missed, I think he's died less times than he's missed.
I think he's hit all of them.
Sorry, it died more times than he's missed, sorry.
I think all the shots we've seen, he's hit all of the shots.
Yeah.
CSM on the way to what just looks like a further dominant victory. I just cannot see a way back in. World nearly made it happen last time. I love that smoke too, just to bait out the potential for the AWP to be there. You know that Ole Miss are shaking in their boots there on towards Banana.
Peter is here ready to fight. He's got a teammate with the crossfire, and Grubin's gonna be that teammate to double up and find those 2 kills. It'll push the rest of this T side over towards A, and they're in apartments, so without any significant control, they're either gonna have to pop out towards apartments or take gunfights, which are very hard to hit.
I feel like I'm getting deja vu. We saw in that last round, Mr. Gummy made the move, and he does the exact same, getting that frag. It's left to Cujo and Tempest, and well, facepalm. Yet again.
I'm gonna start paying attention to the utility that Ole Miss are leaving on the board. Because listen, you're in a 3v5 situation like this. Information that you give to the CT side isn't going to be relevant. You need to start making gunfights that are a little bit safer for yourself. I think that's their door back into this game. Because, I mean, assuming that door is open, right, and there's a way back into this game, that would be it. If you're the Ole Miss players right now, the pause that should have happened on Ancient, assuming that they would have done it and would have been able to get back into that game, the conversation would have been, we need to stop the disrespect first. We cannot tactically approach this game if our opponent isn't playing like a predictable manner. So stop the disrespect.
Yeah.
Start like winning gunfights on your terms, and then you can start to work, like start to mold the other team into playing how you want them to.
Well, the answers, they're there, according to Verdi Box. Question is, will those answers be found? CSM looking to be a stalwart holder of the lead that they have engaged in.
Oh,
that was
no,
so
he
close
was
to a
holding
flat.
it.
Ooh, nice shot there by Tempest. He should get another one here, too. Glock out.
What's happening?
There we go.
There.
How does Facepalm get another one there?
He did? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
world goes down.
Okay, listen, they have a smoke towards CT. I mean, it's just Peter here on the rotate. Almost haven't gotten ahead of themselves just yet. They have this lurk in towards apartments as well. But that gunfight might be coming soon. Cujo. Not quite coming out on top. And this 2v3, listen, they've kept 2 players over towards A. I'm not sure if they know that just yet, but if there's a time to lurk out towards B, it might just be right now.
Oh, it absolutely is right now. The real question is Ole Miss. Do they know that? I don't think they do. And Eyes.
Well, he's going to hear this, for sure.
This is a very aggressive maneuver. And yeah. Yep, he's heard it. There's that audio cue right there. Freebie. Goodbye. Tempest, the last alive.
I mean, he's holding it.
Oh, come on. That's so unfortunate. Tempest unable to connect the shot, and it's still a scoreless game for Ole Miss.
And the all back in the hands of Facepalm. I mean, the man is 16-3.
Someone check him, PC.
If I had to suggest like a specific thing that Ole Miss needs to do other than just kill, neutralizing Facepalm off round start would probably be one of those things, and having Pronk with the AWP here, it's a good inroad to that, but unfortunately you need to locate him, and right now he is
Everywhere.
Yeah.
All the places.
He's in one of the places of all time.
If there's a place, he's in it. That's how it's been. Ooh, the molly.
That's
And
not
now they
the first
know.
time we've seen stuff like that, yeah. This is an opening. Mr. Gummy's going to take it, but there's players on their side, unfortunately blocked off by a Molotov. No opportunity to trade, and Facepalm goes mid for another swing, finds a kill. No! You're not allowed to do that! Pronk absolutely required to win that gunfight, and Facepalm just keeps going back for more, finally punished, but it's just Cujo left in a 1v3. I mean, sorry, you have to make the 1v4 a reality to win this round. Look, they're hunting. They're just hunting at this point.
And Facepalm, he is currently in the mode where he's just going to continue to swing until you stop him. And Ole Miss, I mean, when it takes 4 players to stop him, that's not stopping him.
Exactly, and that's every kill he gets to is just more and more confidence. But I think he might have been spotted out there.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe that's just the X-ray diluting us a little bit, but the time is starting to tick, and that smoke towards apartments isn't doing him any favors, as Cujo will have to reveal his position and work his way through that, but that's, especially after that spray through the wall, that's not happening.
Yeah. So like, that's a good example, I think, of where I think Ole Miss just mentally are a little bit out of this game right now, and that is, he has a full kit of utility. Doesn't even throw the lurk smoke out there, like to cover off hay bale, where you can sort of like try to play around it, or even the smoke that just drops off to cut off pit. Like, he could have thrown either of those. Doesn't elect to go for either, and I think that's just the feeling of hopelessness. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but man, it really does look like this game is headed towards being over very fast.
The fact that we haven't seen any more pauses is really a big indicator of that. I mean, a rush like this, you don't do these rushes because you're seeing an opening, because there's no opening to be read here. This is desperation. This is trying to do anything at all costs to get back into the game, or ending it earlier just as a consequence.
Everyone doing well. There is another round for a triple kill for PTR. 16K at the start of that round for 3 players, or for 2 players, excuse me, on the CSM side. I mean, this is not about individuals. This is not about anything, but the overall momentum and swing of this game. CSM have just owned it all the way through. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing from them. I hoped, and I said at the beginning of the series, Birdie, I said, I want to see this Colorado School of Mines team. I want to see them set the tone and show that they are able to make the moves, and they have thus far. Nice find there.
Yeah, these opening trades, right? And it's a 4v4 situation, and that nade doing the trade, that's really a nail in the coffin right there. But Bracket's control and possession of Pronk, and he's finding this timing over towards Arch. If he could find this opening kill, they might. I mean, listen, as much as like the players alive in the server might not suggest it, Old Miss have an opening here, and it's honestly glaring.
Yeah, I mean, how is he all the way back there? Oh, nice shots though, but grooving.
Okay.
Now it doesn't matter.
So the only benefit Pronk has here is that he hasn't been spotted, right? So they might be expecting him to be somewhere towards alt mid or in the T apartments, but the more time that Pronk wastes like trying to find this kill on the flank, the sooner that they're gonna realize he's there. And like, if he can recover this bomb and just disappear, that would be ideal. But that's a long ways away. This gunfight coming through. Facepalm has realized. Facepalm closes, and CSM with a flawless first half.
I don't see that very often. I mean, I don't think 15-0 first half is one of the rarest things I think you can see in Counter-Strike. I mean, it is hard to do that, and I think that the CSM team needs all of the credit in the world for doing just that.
So I guess trying not to like let's say like if we don't make this hop, we're gonna Old Miss here. I want to see what CSM. I guess that's what you're kind of trying to hype up here. Like playing against the other teams that we would consider to be to the top of the league. Like I want to see that matchup, because this is only just setting us up for excitement and promising us more talent. I mean, I is finding that opening duel towards Banana. You can see fall back into the bomb site. The only remaining player is World, and he's got plenty of players encroaching on his position. Peter finding the first kill, bomb site secured, and more towards CT. Gunfights coming through as well. It's all going yellow across the scoreboard as Ole Miss. The well is dried out, and Trix has to somehow make the river flow.
Well, he's definitely started things out with a nice shot, of course. Knife fight. Knife fight. Ooh, no, not a knife fight. Trix still with the pistol out. Props for him.
He has no kit, though.
I mean, yeah.
It's crossfire, too. I mean, yeah, Mr. Gummy's going to close out a 16-0 affair. A rare occurrence in the game of Counter-Strike, but an unfortunate one that Ole Miss will have to contest with, and, I mean, CSM, they'll be happy to bring out.
That they will. I mean, let's be honest with you. Rare, sure, but not unheard of. I mean, even at the event I was at this past week, I mean, there was 2 16-0s at like a tier 2 level, so right. It does happen. But man, CSM, they put themselves on display there in a way that I have yet to see, and I cannot say that I'm surprised to see CSM win, but I am surprised to see the dominance with which they were able to do that. And I think this set of kills here really does typify this game.
aggressive opping like this is what North America honestly needs more of. If we had advanced players like this who were that confident, I mean more of them, North America would be improving significantly more. So I mean, props to Facepalm, but I need to see that against the best teams.
Yeah, we do. We are going to get an awesome interview, I hope, with Colorado School of Mines, which is going to be a good time, but we are waiting on seeing who we're going to get from that. I think that we've pretty much exhausted the Ole Miss conversation. I think that, for me, though, one of the things that really put Colorado School of Mines on top, obviously the AWP play. We've alluded to that multiple times, but I don't think that AWP play was just about the individual making ridiculous moves and hitting shots that were unheard of. It was the utility that was setting it up, that was making that possible. Consistently seeing the banana control that we were having come through, like, that was solid. And all the way back to Ancient, the B hit that we were seeing and the mid utility was just all very good fundamentals, I think, from this Colorado School of Mines squad.
Yeah, absolutely, across the board, and that's the reason why I would be excited to kind of see them in future endeavors, because those are fundamentals that you want. Playing a game like this and knowing that you've got these maps and that you don't have to worry about even if you're like a man disadvantage, being able to come back, and like the fact that you can afford to be complacent and pull out score lines like this, it's a good sign. And so a confidence booster, but there is, I guess, the other side of that equation. Sure, being complacent in a match like this and pulling at the 16-0, that's whatever. Letting this build false confidence, is a dangerous prospect. It's something I've seen in teams. If you carry over that sort of mentality into the future, when let's say you play like let's just say Kennesaw State, just because we were the broadcasters with them, that could be what costs you a victory like that.
Yeah, I mean, as ridiculous as it sounds, right? Like, being confident is sort of half the battle in Counter-Strike, and then there's a point at which that confidence is like up, and it just gives you so much more, and then it sort of plateaus, and in fact starts going down the other way if you get a little too overconfident. It's kind of funny how that works, to be completely honest. But regardless, I think that a win like this, I don't think that that's going to happen. I'm really curious as well to kind of see what the thought process coming into this. I'm really curious to see like how much prep I would be. I'm gonna say it. I always say it. And I'm always wrong, Birdie. But I always say I'd be surprised to see if a team like this hasn't put some significant prep into at least their Ancient. But
the unfortunate
I do always
reality,
say that.
the unfortunate reality is college teams just do not practice. And almost every team that has players like worth playing at a high level, they're usually playing at a high level, and that for the most part is usually not the collegiate team. Because it's very rare that you'll have a team with 5 players who are at the same average skill level to where they could be on the same roster in, let's say, an ESCA.
Well, unless they are. I mean, that's what Michigan Tech and Davenport are doing, and honestly, I mean, that is groundbreaking.
But it is the rarity. Those are the notable exceptions.
Yes.
Because most other teams have, let's say, an advanced player and then a bunch of open players. That advanced player is probably not privy to playing on the same ESC team, outside of maybe doing it with friends.
Well, that's true, but like we said, I mean, I think that's what's cool about this Colorado School of Mines squad.
Right.
They don't, at least not that I could tell it. Listen, could be wrong, but at least it didn't seem like they have a ton of like actual team experience with them. But they are all individually very skilled, and I mean, we saw that right there, how individually skilled they are. Facepalm in particular was having some seriously impressive moments. Grooven, another one to talk about, but even the rest. I mean, like Isaac, Gummy, and Peter, like there was individual moments of brilliance, I think, from each of them that were particularly good. And what we're talking about individuals that we were impressed with, I do want to give a quick shout out to both Trix and Cujo. I think both of them, despite the loss tonight, I think they showed themselves to have some real flares of brilliance here and there. Just wasn't quite enough to bring them over the edge.
Yeah, you can only do so much in the situations that you're given. And what's interesting too is I wonder how they would have fared in other maps. I mean, Ancient was treated like a pug map tonight, let's be honest.
Yes.
And so, as much as we call it usually a tactical map, I'm interested to see what CSM would have looked like maybe on a nuke or something. Where, I mean, complacency would get you punished. You can't just push lobby every round, even if you're just rolling over the other team. That would get you like, down 3-4 players. And so I guess back to the point we were making this our time, like seeing that sort of close game is something that would be really interesting. Maybe more tactical style out of them, where they're not just running somebody down.
Well, I too would be looking to see that. The good news is we are headed towards our interview. We have a player coming in. Hello and welcome, Grooven. Congratulations on the W, my friend.
Thank you. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. We're feeling good. I mean, very impressed with what you guys were showing. Both you and Facepalm were just having some very strong performances tonight. But I think my first question coming out is, was this expected for you guys? I mean, we didn't know a whole lot about this Ole Miss team coming in, but we knew that you in your squad had quite a bit of experience, but not so much team play. Were you guys expecting to come out with this type of victory?
You know, it's pretty tough. Especially the expectations in Varsity Premier are really high, of course, and you can only get so much from ranks, right? So, I mean, our team last year as Western champions previously in Varsity, we didn't have great ranks, and maybe we were a little under our actual ranks. So it's definitely good to be cautious. We really had no idea what to expect from this team.
All right. Well, so let me talk about. We were just having a discussion about, you know, how some teams are not able to have some practice, but you guys look pretty drilled, especially in some of your utility sets when we were seeing on Ancient and on the T side as well. Are you guys running Ancient in scrims or anything? What's the practice level over there for you guys?
You know, it's a bit tough with homework and all of that, but we have a pretty set practice schedule, and it helps a lot that 4 of our players have been a team core for probably about 3 semesters now. So we've been running some of the same maps, not quite since Ancient has come out. We've been working that quite a bit. It's just taken a few adjustments to bring in like 1 new player, 2 new players. But we're frequently trying to scrim, we're practicing, it's all there. So that's where that prep comes from.
Okay, and so, I mean, like, talking about kind of the maps we played tonight, right? I mean, you just mentioned Ancient a little bit, but Inferno, is your guys' map pool coming into this? Was this something you guys expected to be playing? Did you guys have any read on what they might have wanted? Did you guys just think, oh, let's play the maps we want?
We definitely have a bit of a tough map pool compared to a lot of what we call like puggy style maps, very commonly played maps. We did a little bit of digging, and we were expecting an overpass pick, to be honest. But by this point, we've gone through quite a lot of maps in the past few semesters, so our map pool is pretty big. We're equally prepared really for like an overpass or an Inferno pick. Very happy with a Dust 2 Decider, Vertigo, any of that.
That's amazing to hear. I'm impressed whenever I hear a collegiate team able to have that broad a map pool. It really gives you an advantage. I think that we were able to see tonight. But just in addition to the congratulations on the win, what do you see as the top end for you guys? Like, where are your expectations? Excuse me, for this season? Do you see yourself as a playoff team and a playoff contender?
You know, previously. We were expecting playoffs, so now really we've brought in some better players. We've had time to grow. Really, we're trying to shoot for the top. We're trying to contend with some of these really good teams. It might be a little unrealistic, but I think we can punch above our weight a little bit. So we're shooting for those Davenports, NU, those really high-ranked players. That's the goal.
Well, I'm excited to see you guys. I mean, you made a bit of a fan out of me after this game. I'll be honest. Congratulations once again. And final question: do you have anybody that you want to shout out, say hello to before we let you go, Grooven?
Definitely just the parents. We've got some coaches, some friends watching. Definitely a big shout out to Facepalm over here, Failcrab. I heard there was a lot of talk about him over the cast, but oh
yeah,
we've been partners for a really long time. This guy. Pretty much, he's a grad student, I'm a senior. We've been playing together for 3 or 4 years now, so it feels great to be playing this kind of high level with someone like that by your side.
Awesome.
That it does. Thanks so much, Groovin, for taking the time. Congratulations to you and your team once again, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a
Alrighty, well, Birdie Box, that was a blast, man. I'm so glad that we could see CSM, and you know, it shows the coordination that they had tonight. I mean, the map pool was solid. They said, I mean, we were hearing that Groovin has, you know, confidence on even further maps, and to hear that they've been playing together, at least him and Facepalm have been playing together for 3 or 4 seasons at this point, it really shows. Any final thoughts before we get going?
I mean, just I'll make a point off of that, the practice schedule they're talking about. I mean, listen, if their goal is to punch above their weight, them having a quote unquote practice schedule, like, as rigorous or lax it might be, they're already putting in more effort than a lot of these collegiate teams that are above their weight would be. And so if the trajectory they're trying to hit is upwards, that is 100% the way to do it, and I'm all for it.
I too am all for it. You know what else am I all for? I'm all for some Rocket League, shooting some balls into nets with cars. Come on, man. Who doesn't love it? It's a whole lot of fun. It is coming up on Monday. That might be it for us, but Monday is coming up for Rocket League. And, of course, huge shout-out and thank you to all of our amazing sponsors, including Extra Life. One more shout-out, extralife.org, to find out more information about how you can help change the future with games. A whole lot of fun tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace out.